Chapter 272. Chapter 272. Beaten until kneeling and begging for forgiveness. Why were you snooping around behind me at first? Were you secretly taking pictures of me? Take out your cell phone and let me see. In any case, Lu Wenjing formed the one group, and her superb bullshitting skills at Wuxia Hotel made even the men there admire her. Now that she faced a fiendish young hooligan, she didn't admit defeat. Fuck, is there something wrong with your head, Bai? The red-headed man's gaze swept disdainfully over Lu Wenjing. As a car model, aren't you letting your elders take pictures for free? Your elder is taking pictures of you to give you face. Why are you fucking complaining? What kind of model are you and why did you come here if you won't let me take pictures? Why are you pretending to be all high and mighty? Their exchange soon attracted a large crowd that surrounded them. Once these people saw Redhead's conduct, they knew this brat must have secretly taken a picture up the beauty's skirt and gotten caught. However, these things happened all the time, so other than gathering to wow the excitement, no one spoke up for Lu Wenjing. Lu Wenjing was so angry that tears almost fell out of her eyes. She was also a girl, so whether it came to fighting or arguing, she was at a disadvantage. And she'd been standing for an entire morning as a car model, so she was completely exhausted. Her waist was sore and her back hurt. She almost didn't have the energy to speak. Hurry and give me your phone. Otherwise I'll call the police. Lu Wenjing saw that she was weak, and could only use the police to scare her opponent. Haha, why would I give you my phone? And what right do you have to confiscate my phone? Aren't you just suspicious that I secretly took a picture of you? I'll tell you what, your elder doesn't think anything of you. Even if you take off all your clothes and let me take pictures of you, your elder doesn't even want to take them. I've seen plenty of women like you that sleep with a different man every night for money. And you're even acting pure in front of me? You're crazy. Slap. Right after Redhead finished speaking, a crisp slap was heard. Lu Wenjing's clear and moving eyes held in tears. She had never been so humiliated by someone. In her anger, she'd rushed up and slapped Redhead. After getting slapped, Redhead stood frozen. He stared at Lu Wenjing in disbelief. He never thought this woman would actually have the guts to strike him. Fuck you, Bai. How dare you hit your elder? You love acting innocent, don't you? Your elder will rip off your cheapao and let you fucking continue pretending. Redhead saw red. He'd been slapped by a woman in public. He extended his hands and pounced on Lu Wenjing. He grabbed the back of her collar and forcefully tore it. Stinking whore, you don't want your elder to secretly take pictures of you, is that right? Your elder will tear all your clothes off and let everyone take pictures to their heart's content. Haha. Let go, you beast. Wawa. Someone help me. Lu Wenjing desperately clued the front of her bodice. Red imprints appeared on her originally clear, fair, soft and fragrant shoulders. When Lu Wenjing saw that not one of the many people in the crowd surrounding her came up to help her, but had all pulled out their phones to wildly snap pictures, Lu Wenjing's heart froze. Bam! At this time a black shadow suddenly appeared with a gust of clear wind beside Redhead. With a palm strike, Redhead was sent flying. After hitting Redhead, the person that arrived removed their blazer and placed it over Lu Wenjing's shoulders. She raised her head to see a familiar handsome profile. Her heart instantly filled with hundreds of conflicting emotions. It was Qin Feng. Lu Wenjing would have never thought that Qin Feng would suddenly appear at this time. She'd faced a near-death experience with this man. And after the near-death experience, she'd been heartlessly betrayed by him. Lu Wenjing's feelings for Qin Feng were complicated. She both absolutely hated and slightly longed for him. If she could, she wished she'd never see Qin Feng again for the rest of her life because her tears currently fell like rain. She knew that if she saw Qin Feng again, she wouldn't be able to stop herself from crying. Qin Feng's expression was heavy. Once she thought about Qin Feng's betrayal and how he'd used her, Lu Wenjing was so angry that she clenched her teeth and harshly slapped Qin Feng's hand away. When a sex maniac sneakily took a picture of her during the event, the security guards of the auto show just waited at the sidelines with their arm crossed and didn't step forward to stop that redhead. These people really sucks. Then this much should do. Lu Wenjing put on an angry face and extended 5 fingers at manager Lu. Qin Feng promptly reined in his anger, his expression turning chilly, and said, Did you see that? My woman wants compensation of 50,000 yuan as her indemnity for receiving mental damage. I'll give you 1 minute. Transfer the money to my woman's card now or I'll demolish you. Lu Wenjing was dumbstruck at Qin Feng's words. She was so freaked out that she didn't even care anymore that Qin Feng called her his woman. Lu Wenjing needed money fast. Otherwise, she wouldn't join Qin Feng in extorting money from this abhorrent manager. Lu Wenjing just wanted 5,000 yuan. But Qin Feng demanded 50,000 yuan, which was beyond her expectations. This fellow is indeed more ruthless than me. He is a shameless rascal. However, when Lu Wenjing took a look at Qin Feng's arrogant profile, she couldn't help but admire Qin Feng's domineering and handsome demeanor in her heart. 50,000? Why don't you go rob on the street instead? I dare you to kill me now. I don't have that much money even if you beat me to death anyway. After hearing that he had to pay 50,000 yuan to compensate for mental damage, the manager's face became dark. It was one thing to pay 5,000 yuan to not get beaten, but it really wasn't worth it to have to pay 50,000 yuan and get beaten. After all, this extra money would come out of the manager's pocket. Slap! Qin Feng gave the manager's face a huge slap. This person had a fat head and large ears and his face was jowly. When Qin Feng slapped him, those jowls jiggled non-stop with a tempo of their own. Seeing that this manager had some backbone, Qin Feng was going for another slap. Before his hand could reach the manager, a plop echoed and he saw the manager kneel in front of him with his hands clasped, pleading, "Big brother, I'm just joking with you. Please stop hitting me, please don't hit me anymore. I'll pay the 50,000 yuan. Please give me your bank account number, and I'll transfer the money to you now." The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched a little. He looked at the manager and shook his head as the manager failed his expectation. Lu Wenjing, on the other hand, excitedly gave the manager her bank account number. After 1 minute, Lu Wenjing received an SMS notification. She carefully counted the 4 zeros after the 5 and confirmed the figure was really 50,000 yuan. Originally, Lu Wenjing had been suppressing her resentment ever since Red had snuck a picture of her. But now, she was very delighted and hoped more people would sneak pictures of her. This was because she didn't need to worry about her little sister's university tuition fees anymore. "Darling, have you received the money yet?" Qin Feng heard the SMS notification as well. "Yes, I received the money." Lu Wenjing acted like a little money grubber and grabbed Qin Feng's arms in great delight. She'd forgotten that she was still angry with Qin Feng. Boneless. Qin Feng casted a scornful look at the manager kneeling in front of him. The manager choked on a breath all of a sudden and he couldn't spit it out. He was so angry he blacked out directly. Lu Wenjing realized something was wrong after she finished talking. She quickly wiped off her smiling face, released Qin Feng's arm, and sent an icy glare at him. "Who is your darling? Please mind your mouth. We don't even know each other." Once again, the corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched vigorously. So this was what they mean by kick away the ladder after you go on? Burn the bridge after you cross the river. Rao Sherman had been weighing Qin Feng the whole time after he left Lotus Lake. She saw the entire incident that happened to Qin Feng and Lu Wenjing. She saw Qin Feng had a little beauty in his arms, who was no less beautiful than she was. She witnessed him helping her chase away the bad guys and ask for wages from the horrible manager. After she saw what Qin Feng had done for the little beauty, mixed feelings suddenly welled up in her heart. She waited as the duo strolled off and disappeared from her line of sight. She sighed lightly and walked gracefully back to the bins. "Mr." Qin Feng was now pressing on Lu Wenjing's booty with one hand, covering her breasts with another, and looking seriously at Lu Wenjing. Lu Wenjing's cries were becoming louder and louder. Her tears made the makeup on her face run. She really wanted to bellow into Qin Feng's ears, "That devil and sex demon and the guy who bullied me are you. Kill yourself if you can." However, when she thought of Qin Feng's shameless demeanor, Lu Wenjing kept her mouth shut. She was afraid once she opened her mouth, Qin Feng might put his hand on some other part of her body. Then when the one group went to fight the phone group, did you scheme and trick the one group into fighting the Wild Wolf Gang, while your phone group's core individuals used the opportunity to take down the Wild Wolf Gang's strongholds in the northern district? Qin Feng nodded again. Now the one group is no more, and your phone group's power has increased significantly, becoming one of the 3 powers in Acropolis and the number 1 power in the Northern District. Everything you've said is correct, said Qin Feng. He thought he would look too stupid just nodding the whole time. Then what else is there to explain, stinking brat? Bam! Qin Feng had just finished speaking when Lu Wenjing punched his chest. However, Qin Feng was completely fine, and Lu Wenjing yelped in pain and nursed her soft, elegant pink fist with a grimace. Jing, are you alright? If you want to touch my chest, be more gentle. My pecs are as hard as rocks, so how could it not hurt if you hit it? Qin Feng took Lu Wenjing's elegant fist and rubbed it lightly. Lu Wenjing allowed Qin Feng to take advantage of her hand. Qin Feng forced her to the brink of insanity, and she didn't even have the strength to resist. She hadn't known Qin Feng for long, but she already experienced Qin Feng's shamelessness and vulgarness many times. And now that Qin Feng looked for her, harassed her and refused to leave, a flash of something different went through Lu Wenjing's icy and beautiful eyes. She knew she wouldn't get Qin Feng to leave today. This person is shameless and perverted. He probably wants to take my body. Someone as evil as him is as annoying as a housefly. Lu Wenjing wanted to teach him a proper lesson. However, Lu Wenjing wasn't worthy of being Qin Feng's opponent. She decided to call in reinforcements. Qin Feng, you really have something to explain to me? Lu Wenjing's attitude changed completely. She went from being bone-chilling to charming and moving. Of course, Jing. I have lots and lots of things to tell you. Qin Feng's touch drifted from Lu Wenjing's small hand to her shoulder. Lu Wenjing lightly shoved Qin Feng's hand away and said with a smile, then take me back to school. Okay? The qipao I'm wearing is too eye-cawing. Wherever I go, people stare at me, and I'm a little embarrassed. Of course. Want me to carry you back? You've stood for half the day, so your feet must hurt. No, I can walk. Lu Wenjing immediately dodged the hand Qin Feng extended and turned to stop a taxi. Lu Wenjing was a junior in Acropolis Normal University, and was a golden campus beauty. Qin Feng had dropped out of Acropolis University for over a month now, so Qin Feng felt a bit nostalgic at stepping into another university, walking amongst its green willows and cool breezes, and seeing lovers holding hands, coming and going while admiring the flowers and lakes. Jing, your normal university is pretty nice. It's even a bit better than the Acropolis University that I miss. A hint of disdain flashed in Lu Wenjing's eyes. She didn't believe Qin Feng ever went to university. He was clearly the big boss of an underground power, so he had to pretend to be scholarly and refined. Who knew how many pure young girls were tricked by this wolf in sheep's clothing? The two of them walked on the campus's grassy path shoulder to shoulder and hand in hand. Of course, Qin Feng originally wanted to hug Lu Wenjing's shoulders, but Lu Wenjing refused, so he could only compromise, and she led him to stroll hand in hand through the campus. Damn! Who is that girl wearing the white qipao? She's as beautiful as a fairy. Look at her long and slender legs. It gives one the urge to bite it. You don't even know the number 1 golden campus beauty Lu Wenjing? Then you've come to study at Normal University for nothing. That is the number 1 goddess in the hearts of all men in Normal University. Fuck. Then who is that man holding Lu Wenjing's hand? Why haven't I ever seen him on campus? Wasn't Lu Wenjing always single? Why does she suddenly have a boyfriend? And she even found such a vulgar man? She must be blind. That brat is in deep shit. I've already posted a picture of him with Lu Wenjing on the school's discussion forum. If Lu Wenjing doesn't have over 1,000 suitors, she at least has 800. It was surrounded by mountains and water, and the woods were overgrown. The bridge was at the end of the crushed rock path. Legend had it that as long as a man and woman walked holding hands across Lover's Bridge, they could become a couple. And if a couple walked across the bridge, they'd be together forever and always. Everyone knew the legend was a myth, but Lover's Bridge was still Normal University's most popular spot because it was a very good flirting place in the daytime, and a good battlefield at night. Lu Wenjing took Qin Feng here because there were a lot of people and news would spread quicker. She saw someone taking a picture of her and Qin Feng, and heard someone say this picture was already on the school forum. Lu Wenjing secretly chuckled to herself. She was waiting for countless suitors to run up and clean up Qin Feng. Jing, What are you thinking about that's making you smile so happily? Qin Feng suddenly looked toward Lu Wenjing with a smile. Lu Wenjing's heartbeat sped up. She immediately forced herself to be calm and said, "Nothing. Did you know that the bridge before us is Normal University's famous Lover's Bridge? Legend has it that people who walk across it while holding hands all become couples." Lu Wenjing quickly changed the topic. "It's that mysterious, huh?" Qin Feng asked with seriousness. "Then if two girls or two boys walk holding hands, they can also become lovers." Lu Wenjing frowned. It was such a good atmosphere, and it was shattered with one line from Qin Feng. "Jing, do you believe the legend?" Qin Feng appeared not to notice Lu Wenjing's disdainful expression. He suddenly grabbed her hand and walked toward Lover's Bridge. "I don't believe it," said Lu Wenjing flatly. "Then have you walked across this bridge with any other man?" Qin Feng already held Lu Wenjing's jade hand and stood by the bridge. "No." Lu Wenjing shook her head with a bit of disappointment and yearning. She was a young lady in the prime of her youth. When Lu Wenjing saw the university's couples enter and exit in complete pairs, she hoped that kind of relationship would quickly appear before her, and that a prince on a white horse could ride in on a rainbow cloud and hug her. However, Lu Wenjing had too many burdens. Not only did she have to go to school, she also had to raise her family and earn money. She worked multiple jobs and made all the money to pay for her and her younger sister's daily expenses and tuition. She longed for a fresh and free relationship at school, but she didn't have the time or energy to date. Jing, actually I don't believe the story about how walking across Lover's Bridge will make you a couple. Why don't we hold hands and cross it to prove our hypothesis? Qin Feng smiled at Lu Wenjing. Lu Wenjing's heartbeat instantly increased. She wasn't even as nervous as when Qin Feng hugged her and touched her ass and chest. Though she didn't believe the love story, she hoped the story was real. Women, no matter what age, have childish hearts that fantasize about fairy tale situations. Lu Wenjing was afraid because she wasn't Qin Feng's girlfriend. Other than her hatred for Qin Feng, she also thought of him a little. However, with that, could she so easily hold Qin Feng's hand and walk across Lover's Bridge with him? What if Cupid suddenly appeared, and when she walked across the bridge with Qin Feng, he mischievously shot them with an arrow and set her up with Qin Feng? What then? Stinking brat! Let go of our goddess Lu Wenjing. Before Lu Wenjing could respond, an angry shout came from behind them. Chapter 275. Chapter 275. A man whose shamelessness knows no bounds is invincible. Stinking brat! Let go of our goddess Lu Wenjing. Stinking brat! Let go of our goddess Lu Wenjing. After a bellow of rage, more and more roars resounded one after another. In a blink of an eye, both ends of Lover's Bridge were crowded with two groups of hot-blooded youngsters. These people had fiendish looks on their faces and had set their sights on Qin Feng and Lu Wenjing. They took Lover's Bridge as a boundary and blocked off both ends, trapping Qin Feng and Lu Wenjing in between. Jing, are these guys talking to me? The people in your university are so unfriendly. Qin Feng was rather unaffected and remained calm, even though he was surrounded by hundreds of people. He didn't let go of Lu Wenjing's jade hand. Instead, he raised her hand to the air and waved it twice, challenging the boys at both sides. Stinking brat, do you have a death wish? We asked you to let go of our goddess Lu Wenjing now. Are you deaf? Qin Feng's action had caused a disturbance among the boys. If it wasn't for Lu Wenjing still in Qin Feng's hands and their fear of injuring the goddess of their hearts, they'd have drowned Qin Feng with their saliva already. Qin Feng, it seems like you're having trouble now. A mere trace of a smile crossed Lu Wenjing's clear eyes. Stinking brat, tell us your name, age, faculty, and height if you dare. I, this humble ye, want to challenge you to a duel. A tall, sturdy man stepped out of the crowd and stared furiously at Qin Feng. No doubt these people were students of Normal University. In addition, they were also admirers of Lu Wenjing. When they saw the idyllic picture on their college chat forum with Qin Feng intimately holding Lu Wenjing's small hand and both of them standing at Lover's Bridge and looking at each other affectionately, they wanted to ask Qin Feng, did you ever consider our feelings? I'm not the student of Normal University. As for my name and height, I think it's not necessary for you to know. However, if Brother Yi wishes to challenge me, you may as well come forward and I'll treat you to a feast of punches, Qin Feng answered with a faint smile. They heard Qin Feng talk with an attitude, and more importantly, he wasn't a student of normal university. Seeing their university's #1 goddess being taken advantage of by an outsider, these hot-blooded teenagers finally closed ranks in a rare display of unanimity. They had only one objective now: confront and expel the formidable opponent Qin Feng. Yida Chue, move aside. This stinking brat has the guts to come to normal university and steal our goddess. Let me, this humble Zhao, give him a lesson first. Zhao Wuli, you're the one who should move aside. I, Zhu Dechong, haven't made my stand yet. Since when is it the turn of you two little tramps to come out? You guys are as weak as women. What if both of you're abused by that fellow instead? Then where shall we, the students of normal university, put our face? Those boys jumped out one after another, all eager to give Qin Feng a punch or two. The reason was simple. They saw Qin Feng had soft skin and a smooth face, just like a pretty boy. They were certain that a guy like this didn't even have the strength to truss a chicken, and that every single one of them could take him down single-handedly. In a situation like this, the first person who stepped forward and put down Qin Feng would be like the person who tasted the crab first, firmly engraved in the hearts of lecturers and students in normal university. Maybe his heroic act would be recorded in the annals of normal university, and his fame would spread through the ages for eternity. Qin Feng sighed. He felt these people thought too much. Do you guys still want to fight? How about you all just come at me all together? I still need to hold Jingjing's hand and cross the bridge with her after getting rid of you guys. Qin Feng waved his hand impatiently. Humph. You filthy scumbag. Don't even try to swindle us with your dirty tricks. I, this humble Yi, alone am enough to put you down. If we, the students of normal university, do as you say, then we'll really fall into that crafty plot of yours. Even if we win at last, the reputation of our normal university will be soiled. The Yida Chue who stood up first and yelled at Qin Feng just now stepped forward. He lowered his head and slowly undid the buttons on his white shirt one by one. After that, he swung his arms and shook his shirt behind. The hem of his clothes fluttered as a light breeze wafted past. He then struck the pose of an unparalleled master, closed his eyes and beckoned toward Qin Feng. Come, you little brat. I, this humble Yi, will close my eyes and... Bang! Qin Feng couldn't maintain his composure anymore. How could he tolerate a person that was more pretentious than him, acting like a pretentious prick in front of him? So without waiting for Yida Chue to finish his sentence, Qin Feng shot off a kick and sent him flying directly. Wah! As soon as Yida Chue flew up, the surroundings echoed with exclamations. These guys who came looking for trouble with Qin Feng were just ordinary university students. They hadn't stepped into society yet, and still lived in their own fantasy world. Since when had they seen such a savage scene? How can this person fight without paying attention to others? He even sent a person flying with a kick. Weren't they all just bluffing? You'd see you were heavily outnumbered and beg for mercy. We just give you a few token punches or kicks, and then you would flee in panic. This would be the end of the whole story. This was the original idea of those university students that rushed violently to Lu Wenjing's side. However, the situation had taken a sharp turn. A turn so fast that nobody could regain their senses from amazement. That so-called Ji Wuli, you're the second person who wanted to challenge me, right? Come out now. The fearsome and fiendish expression on Zhao Wuli's face was long gone. Now, he could only lower his head and cower in the crowd. He didn't even have the guts to correct Qin Feng on his name. He'd seen Qin Feng's valiant skill. He would be a total fool to come out now and die. Let's give him some color together and get rid of this outsider. He dares to come to our normal university to steal our goddess, and act arrogant and despotic. He's digging his own grave, yelled someone in the crowd. This yell was the last straw, and it immediately ignited the silent crowd. Yes, let's fight him together. We have hundreds of people. I don't believe we can't even take down a single person. Originally, I didn't want to take advantage over you by using strength of numbers. But I heard this brat challenged us to go against him together. Since he asked, then I as the student of normal university shall fulfill his wish. I've decided to fight you with everyone. Yes, you're right. Let's fight him together. Together. Many hands make light work. The revolution is close at hand. The mob that had spoken with righteousness and disdain fighting Qin Feng together changed its stance. And now, all the men waved their fists and lunged at Qin Feng. Fish won't live in clear water. A man whose shamelessness knows no bounds is invincible. Qin Feng had fully appreciated the true essence of these words since he was 10 years old. After all, he was the invincible entity. When faced with 100 screaming and bellowing hot-blooded youngsters running toward him, Qin Feng wasn't affected in the slightest. He pulled Lu Wenjing's jade hand and abruptly stepped onto Lover's Bridge. Lu Wenjing was stupefied. She acted like a soulless puppet as she pondered whether she should follow Qin Feng to the bridge. However, within a blink of an eye, both of them were already walking hand in hand along the bridge. Then were she and Qin Feng now a couple? If I'm Qin Feng's girlfriend, why am I so excited at seeing hundreds of boys lunging at Qin Feng in great anger? Qin Feng must be in trouble now. Yes, he must be. Unknown to Qin Feng, Lu Wenjing was actually praying for his mishap. Qin Feng, on the other hand, thought this lass was scared by the mob surging from both sides. All he felt was her hold on his arm growing tighter and tighter. Jing Jing, don't be afraid. I'm here with you. Nobody will be able to lay a finger on you. Qin Feng's determined voice sounded in Lu Wenjing's ears. Crackle. Lu Wenjing's lovely body suddenly trembled. Before she could regain her senses, a loud sound of flashing lightning and rumbling thunder echoed in the air. This sound wasn't the real sound of lightning and thunder. In fact, it was the crackle made by Qin Feng's spirit snake whip, which he lashed at the two groups of people closing in. The spirit snake whip in Qin Feng's hand was glowing with orange light. Qin Feng waved his large hand. The spirit snake whip then made a complete turn and pushed all the people within 5 meters of him into the lake. Everyone, wow! This little brat has a weapon on him. What the H*LL, it's a long whip. This person brought along a whip with him. How low? Qin Feng released his long whip, and ghostly cries and wolf-like howls resounded through the forest. The mobs heading to Lover's Bridge stopped completely. This was because they saw dozens of people pushed into lake by the long whip. Now nobody dared to step forward to taste the power of Qin Feng's long whip. Even Lu Wenjing, who was in Qin Feng's arms, opened her mouth in a big O. Suddenly, a question popped up in her mind. If I'm Qin Feng's woman, will he smack me with this whip? So erotic, but it's so exciting at the same time. It's you guys who wanted to have a duel. All of you're frightened after seeing me send a person flying with a kick. Now you guys changed tactics and tried to attack me as a crowd. Then after you all witnessed the almighty strength of my long whip, you guys are scared again. Tell me, what can you all do? Such cowards. And you all still want to pursue Lu Wenjing? Please just drop it. Qin Feng had originally wanted to admire the flowers and the scenery at Lover's Bridge with Lu Wenjing, and at the same time, discuss her becoming his sweetheart. It was such a great and fantastic afternoon, but it was spoiled by these stinking brats. Qin Feng wouldn't be able to cool his temper if he didn't scold these guys. Fuck. This little brat used a weapon. Let's find a weapon and fuck him up. Someone yelled from the crowd again. So, hundreds of brains started to think, and soon enough they came up with a new strategy. Rocks. Let's us smash this little brat with rocks. Fuck, he has gone too far. Oh yeah. I still have a slingshot in my pocket. I'll shoot this little brat to death. There was nothing more other than rocks in this bamboo forest. When Qin Feng heard someone suggest smashing him with rocks, he turned grim. By the time he regained his senses, a dozen rocks of varying sizes were raining down mercilessly on him. Looking at the hail of rocks, Lu Wenjing was so frightened that her delicate face became pale white. Did these stinking men think of me before they threw the rocks? Are they really my suitors? Crackle. Flashing lightning and rumbling thunder resounded once again. The spirit snake whip in Qin Feng's hand dancing elegantly and wildly in the air. This whip was an orange mid-grade spiritual equipment. Usually he would use this whip to defend himself against those experienced martial artists. It was a bit of an overkill to use the long whip to give a little color to these ordinary university students. Chapter 276. Chapter 276 Mollis Azure Wing Blades. Orange lights and shadows filled the sky, and gusts of wind whistled everywhere. The rocks that crashed down like rain were all lashed away by Qin Feng's whip. They regained speed and became faster, stronger, shooting out in all directions as beautiful as flowers scattered by a heavenly maiden. Sha sha sha. A large barrage of rocks bombarded the bamboo forest nearby like hail, hitting the bamboo with sha-sha sounds. Swish swish swish. This flurry of rocks flew into the taller trees, causing sheets of shattered leaves and flowers to fall and scatter in the wind. Ayo ayo ayo. This burst of rocks showered the mobs on both sides of Lover's Bridge, and ghostly cries and wolf-like howls resounded through the forest. Crushed flowers and falling leaves, a sky full of whip shadows, flashing lightning and booming thunder, ghostly cries and wolf-like howling. This was a completely unimaginable scene. Even if you saw it personally, you wouldn't even believe it. Surges of pitiful cries arose, and wave upon wave of people fell into the lake. Even the frolicking little fish jumped out of the water in fright and expressed their objection. The downpour of rocks slowly ceased because fewer people had the energy or the inclination to throw rocks. Half of the men had fallen into the water, and the remaining were wide-eyed and gaping. How would they have the time to throw rocks? When the wind blew through and shook the bamboo forest, the rustling was incessant. At the very back of the crowd stood a man in a white robe holding a wooden fan, followed by an elderly man draped in gray cloth. The young man was imposing and stood tall and straight. The elder with the cloth draped on him stood with his hands clasped and eyes burning like torches. "Uncle Qi, how are Qin Feng's skills?" The young man smiled slightly and opened his fan. He looked to be waving it casually, but he blocked all the broken rocks that flew toward him. Among his peers he has superb power, but in the martial community he's not worth mentioning. The elder's deep black eyes were swift, fierce, and pinned to Qin Feng, who was brandishing his long whip not far away. He didn't have a folding fan in his clasped hands, but when the broken rocks were about to get close to him, he automatically used some strength and swept them away. The elder was surrounded by broken rocks that formed a circle around his feet. But the long whip in his hand isn't bad. It's an orange-grade spiritual equipment. It's extremely rare in Acropolis. Uncle Qi eyed the spirit snake whip in Qin Feng's hand with a hint of longing. Haha. In the eyes of our Sima family, an orange-grade spiritual equipment isn't worth much. My blue-grade Mollis Azure wing blades could slice his long whip in two. The young man replaced the fan in the waist of his white robe. He moved his palms slightly, and daggers appeared in them. The daggers both had a handle but no blade. When the man's palms exerted some strength and passed some inner chi into the blade handles, the two blade handles suddenly changed drastically, flashing with light blue light. And the places that didn't even have a blade flashed with light blue chi flow. The flow was like both light and fog. It could be seen but could not be touched. Whoosh! The young man waved casually and the Mollis Azure wing blades accurately slashed at a large rock that was flying toward him. Other than the sound of the blades cutting through the air, there was no sound. The rock instantly split in half like soft tofu. The part where it was split was as smooth as jade. There were no bumps on it, and it was gleaming and clear. One could even see their reflection in it. Mollis Azure wing blades. Blue top-grade spiritual equipment. The blades are crafted from the wing of the legendary blue-winged bird. Under normal circumstances, the dual blades have no light. A light blue light and chi appear only after an inner chi cultivator instills inner chi into them. The dual blades in hand are famous for being able to slice through anything. This Sima family heirloom really lives up to its name. Uncle Qi's gaze fell on the young man's dual blades, and his eyes brightened even more. You must know that our Sima family crafts weapons. What we don't lack is spiritual weapons. The young man puffed up his chest, immensely pleased with himself. He was the eldest grandson in the direct line of descent of the Sima family in Acropolis, and one of the 4 princes of Acropolis, Sima Tuesday. Oh Qin Feng, you hid your strength. You've hid behind your hedonistic young master image with us 4 princes for so long, tricked Hao Yun into waging war with you, and caused the elimination of the Hao family. You single-handedly destroyed Jincheng City's #1 criminal family, Yuan Xiang's family, and smashed and scattered Sky City's Hua Ming's family. You really know how to pretend. The corner of Sima Tu's lips quirked upward. He watched Qin Feng brandish his long whip on Lover's Bridge. From this moment on, he finally truly considered Qin Feng his opponent. Prince Sima want me to trash that brat? As the Sima family's top bodyguard, Uncle Chi observed Sima Tu's expressions and didn't move unless commanded. He could see the cold, murderous look Sima Tu gave Qin Feng, so he proactively volunteered. Sima Tu waved his hand and smiled faintly. No rush, no rush. The Qin family isn't trash. 20 years ago, their first bodyguard was the #1 northern boxer Yuan Fu. You can easily kill Qin Feng right now, but what about after you kill him? Wouldn't this send our Sima family into a crisis? The Sima family always disregarded the Qin family, but we also wouldn't do anything strenuous that's unrewarding. I've just come out of seclusion, and I'm not stable in this new environment, so I'm not in a hurry to do anything. While secluding myself for 2 months, I haven't touched any women. I've come out this time to admire the flowers and the scenery. Young Master Qin really has superb taste. That girl beside him actually isn't bad. When I have the time, I'll play around with her and have a taste. When Sima Tu said this, Uncle Chi didn't act blindly without thinking. He was really clear on Yuan Fu's name, and he was a bit worried about this person. At this time, Qin Feng had already put away his spirit snake whip, because no one dared throw more rocks at him. Sima Tu's gaze strayed from Qin Feng to Lu Wenjing and Qin Feng's embrace, and the smile on Sima Tu's face widened. You all aren't going to keep fighting with me? Then I'm going to hold on to your goddess's hand and cross the bridge. Having put away the long whip, Qin Feng held Lu Wenjing's jade hand and continued walking forward. Beneath Lover's Bridge was a calm and gentle lake. The lake wasn't wide, just around 10 meters. Once standing on the other end of Lover's Bridge, Qin Feng hugged Lu Wenjing lightly and looked at the path they had taken. Because the bridge was wet from the lake water, there were footprints. It wasn't easy walking this small little path, said Qin Feng with a smile and a sigh. In order to cross Lover's Bridge while holding Lu Wenjing's hand, he'd faced over 100 men at Normal University both individually and in groups. In the end, they'd even thrown rocks at him. It really hadn't been easy. Ah, Qin Feng, why you really held my hand and we walked across Lover's Bridge together? At this time, Lu Wenjing finally came to her senses and struggled out of Qin Feng's arms. She hadn't prepared herself for crossing the bridge. Lover's Bridge had a profound meaning in Normal University. On this day, with hundreds of students as their witnesses, the two of them walked over Lover's Bridge and indicated that they wanted to be lovers. This gave Lu Wenjing a strange feeling. She felt as though she held Qin Feng's hand and walked down a red-carpeted aisle for a wedding ceremony. Jing, from now on you're my Qin Feng's lover. Qin Feng looked at Lu Wenjing with a smile and pulled her gently into his embrace. Lovers? Lu Wenjing stared at Qin Feng. How could we possibly be considered lovers? Chapter 277. Chapter 277. Qin Feng is popular. Don't ever underestimate the evil within a woman's heart. Even a man would tremble in fear should she become evil. When Qin Feng saw the windows were crowded with more and more girls, the corner of his mouth lifted slightly. He knew Lu Wenjing was deliberately hiding inside the dorm and refusing to come out. Now he was trying to force this last to come down voluntarily. At this moment, Lu Wenjing was sitting by the window. With a pleased expression on her face, she took a sip from the cup of coffee in her hand and looked at Qin Feng standing below the window. Her water-clear eyes were filled with a smile. Stinking brat, trying to force me down with such an old approach? Ha, you're such a hilarious nitwit. You know what, the everyday sight of men confessing to me at the foot of this building is as magnificent as students queuing up for food in the canteen. I've gotten used to it. You just keep screaming and shouting for all you're worth. I won't heed you. Jing, what's the name for the man standing downstairs? Is he the handsome guy who walked Lover's Bridge with you? Jing, since you've walked Lover's Bridge with him, why would you ignore him then? I think this guy is fine. Handsome and tall, straight and impressive looking. Even his skin is softer and smoother than mine. He must come from a rich family. He's better and finer than the bunch of guys who came to confess to you before. Jing, I'm so jealous of you. Jing, give him to me if you don't like him then. I'm mad about him. I've seen the video in the forum of him beating the vulgar men at Lover's Bridge. It's so awesome. One must feel secure having him as a boyfriend. The three roommates of Lu Wenjing were standing by the window. They took a look at the handsome and upright Qin Feng standing downstairs. Instantly, the three of them were smitten by Qin Feng's handsomeness and they almost drooled on his head. It's fine. I can't thank you enough if you three can take him away. I promise I won't be angry, Lu Wenjing said, a smile playing on her lips. Earlier on, Lu Wenjing had been very angry when any boys dared to confess to her at the foot of the building. Sometimes she even had the urge to pour water on them, to turn them into drowned rats and shoo them away. However, this time it was Qin Feng confessing to her, and Lu Wenjing had other feelings in her heart. She felt some pleasure after succeeding in her revenge, a little bit of enjoyment, and a small amount of warmth and excitement. She couldn't help a faint youthful smile. It was just like her first awakening of love. Jesus Christ, I'm just late for a minute and those stinking bees got the jump on me. Fuck. I'll fight it out with you all. Shall you wait for me? I don't want to change my shoes anymore. I'll just wear slippers. And me. I think I'll just wear my pajamas. Lu Wenjing was still deeply immersed in the soft-as-water happiness Qin Feng provided. By the time she raised her head, she realized the trio had already rushed downstairs to look for Qin Feng. When she took a look downstairs again, she was so stunned by the scene that she even spilled her coffee. Oh my goodness! Are these women mad? Originally there was only Qin Feng standing alone under the blazing sun in the open space, confessing to Lu Wenjing again and again like a dummy. But now the space was packed with a dense crowd, and all of them were girls. Some of these girls were gorgeously dressed. Some didn't even take time to change their shoes. There were also some big-busted girls who ran downstairs in just their pajamas. The scene was as hot as a blind date convention. Handsome boy, what's your name? Do you have a girlfriend? How do I look to you? Handsome boy, the sun is high. Let me hold an umbrella for you. See, you're sweating. Let me wipe it for you. You have so many more options. I don't understand why you want to put all your eggs in one basket. There were people helping him hold an umbrella, giving him water, massaging his shoulders and back, helping him wipe his sweat, and fanning him. Qin Feng was flabbergasted by these passionate girls who came out from nowhere. Suddenly, a conclusion came into his mind. The students of Normal University were polarized into two groups: unfriendly male students and extremely passionate female students. If Qin Feng had known early on that the atmosphere of Normal University was like this, he was certain that he wouldn't have enrolled in Acropolis University back then. Every woman was boy crazy, even the most beautiful or powerful and arrogant woman. It was just a matter of whether or not there was a man that had the ability to reveal their true behavior. These girls that surrounded Qin Feng were a group of immature young girls with no social experience, so they were more likely to be boy crazy. When these women saw Qin Feng's photo on their college chat forum and saw him brandish his long whip in a grand and majestic way, just like a peerless master in a fairy realm of flowery forest, these women had already become his fangirl. Qin Feng was handsome, tall, well-built, highly skilled with strong martial arts, and looked like a young master born to a wealthy family. A perfect man like him was not a prince in a fairy tale, nor the Spider-Man or Batman in sci-fi or fantasy blockbuster movies. He wasn't even a character from the domestic cartoons Calabash Brothers or Black Cat Sergeant. He was a real figure, a real man living in the real world who was standing under the women's dorm like a jade tree in the wind. It was such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and anyone who wouldn't come to compete for him would be a total idiot. Ahem. Beauties, I appreciate your kindness. But today I only came for Lu Wenjing alone. Please go back. Qin Feng felt if he didn't chase these people away, then the skin all over his body would be shredded by these lustful women. He hastily continued to yell upstairs. Jing, I know you're angry and I know you're in the dorms. I hope you'll give me a chance. Eat a candlelit dinner and watch a movie with me, okay? If you don't come down, I'll wait the entire night for you. If you don't come out tomorrow either, then I'll wait until the end of time. Qin Feng didn't change his words. It was the same words he'd yelled for more than 10 minutes. Because of his persistence and consistency, these words became a classic line in Normal University's college forum. In the next 10 years, Countless male students in normal university would win the heart of the object of their affection using these words. If you don't come down, I'll wait the entire night for you. If you don't come out tomorrow either, then I'll wait until the end of time. These were such romantic words that those women's hearts melted when they heard them. Even Lu Wenjing, who was hiding upstairs, experienced huge perilous waves in her heart at these words. Suddenly she was scared. She was afraid that Qin Feng would be snayed by the dozens of women standing downstairs. Her mind became a mush as she didn't know what she was thinking. Qin Feng betrayed her. How could she be hurt once again by this scoundrel's flowery speech? Stinking brat, why are you yelling below the women's dorm at noon? Are you asking for a beating? A loud clamor drifted from afar. 3 beefy men approached with displeased expressions. Seeing the leader of the trio, those beauties who were quarreling and making a racket suddenly fell silent. All of them had different expressions, but all their faces showed a hint of nervousness and fear. The trio consisted of normal university basketball students. Unlike other nerds of the same year, all 3 of them had tall, stocky builds. Qin Feng, let's play a half-court 3-on-3 and whoever gets 50 points first will win. Whoever loses will have to stay away from Lu Wenjing. No problem, Qin Feng readily agreed. However, once he finished speaking, his expression shifted slightly. He suddenly thought of an extremely severe problem. All the people that came with him were women, and of all the men at normal university, he had just beaten up half of them at Lover's Bridge. As for the other half, who knew where they were hiding and cursing at him, Qin Feng suddenly found that he had no one to bring to this 3-on-3 game. Haha, Qin Feng, our 3 are already here. Who are you bringing out on your side? I'll give you a minute. If you can't find someone, then compete by yourself. Before the game, Gao Hu realized Qin Feng's predicament. He saw Qin Feng's down expression and couldn't help but burst into laughter. Qin Feng, I'm willing to compete and lend a helping hand. Feng, though I don't know how to play basketball, I'm strong. When we play, I'll help one person. If he dares to steal the ball from you, then I'll pummel him to death. Feng, I wore a slip nightgown here. I can mesmerize them with my beauty. Let me compete. Qin Feng discovered the passion of normal university women. Now that he saw their brimming enthusiasm, he was about to cry. None of them could play basketball. There's no need for that. I don't need outside help to deal with you 3. I've decided to compete alone, said Qin Feng through gritted teeth after he made his final decision. Because his back was toward the women, no one could see his raised head, his bitter smile, and him trying his best to hold in his tears. Haha, how arrogant. Then let's cut the crap and start the game. Gao Hu and his 2 men saw how Qin Feng was at a loss. When they saw him acting impressive like he was really great, they all laughed uncontrollably. The 4 people now stood at the half-court line. Qin Feng stood alone on one side, and Gao Hu and his 2 men stood robust, tall, and sturdy on the other side. From the scene alone there was a desolate feeling. Stinking brat, since you're competing on your own, your elder won't bully you. You can start with the ball first. Let's begin. Gao Hu tossed the basketball at Qin Feng. Qin Feng held the basketball, looked at it again and looked at it again. Are you playing or not, brat? If you're afraid, it's not too late to admit defeat. Gao Hu lost his patience and wondered, don't tell me it's the first time this guy has seen a basketball. Roar! Qin Feng suddenly roared and rushed forward with the basketball in hand. He currently had Stage 3 external and Stage 2 internal abilities. If he went a little faster, he could attain 3 times a person's speed. If he stepped lighter on the ground, he'd disappear naturally. When Gao Hu and his 2 men regained their senses, Qin Feng had already arrived beneath the basketball hoop, leapt nimbly, grabbed the hoop, and performed a domineering slam dunk. Thump! The basketball fell to the ground with a dull thud. This sound was like thunder as it struck the hearts of Gao Hu and his men. At the same time, it fell into the hearts of the nearly 100 women weighing. It was tyrannical, bold and powerful, fast and nimble, natural and smooth. Qin Feng amazed the world with his brilliant feat. Earlier, everyone looked worried that he would lose the competition. But that worry was nowhere to be seen now. Not only does Qin Feng fight beautifully, who knew he was also so handsome playing basketball? He's so handsome that my heart is thumping uncontrollably like it's about to give out. Some of the surrounding army of women regained their senses, and a wave of wild screaming and professions of love were heard. In turn, Gao Hu and his men came too. But after they saw Qin Feng's speed and agility and startling leap, they didn't look afraid as one might expect. Each of them suddenly clasped their stomachs and guffawed. That's right, they were laughing at Qin Feng. They convulsed with laughter and couldn't stop. Because the three of them noticed that Qin Feng didn't know how to play basketball. This brat grabbed the ball and ran a dozen steps up to the basketball hoop before doing a slam dunk. According to the 3 steps to a shot rule, Qin Feng had violated the rule of traveling. Gao Hu laughed until he was out of breath and shouted at Qin Feng. Haha, do you know how to play basketball, brat? You think your performance was really cool, don't you? You violated the rules. Hurry and bring the basketball over and stop squatting there and showing off. After Qin Feng finished his slam dunk, he maintained a cool, half-squat pose and basked in the screams and cheers of the army of women. Starting from now, the 3 of you don't even have a single chance to touch the ball, said Qin Feng. Once he got the ball, the B trio started to surround him. Qin Feng was totally unaffected and cast a gleeful smile at them. You're the B trio. Don't fucking simply give me a nickname. Gao Hu rolled his eyes in fury. Don't you think this nickname is cool? It took me a long time to come up with this nickname. Chapter 280. Chapter 280 Slicing open with 1 slash. Afterward, it was no longer an evenly made basketball game. It was solely Qin Feng's shooting performance. Once he knew that he would win the instant he got the ball and shot it, he knew that the results of the game was no longer cause for surprise. The power in his jumps was so startling that it made the B trio reverent. His shooting was 100% accurate, and it was a swish every time. He jumped and shot with one hand, stood in place and shot with one hand, and shot from half court with his back to the basket. When he was bored, he'd shoot by bouncing the ball on the floor. And when he was tired, he'd shoot while squatting. Tired from squatting, he'd shoot while sitting, and tired from sitting, he'd shoot while lying on the floor. However, no matter how he shot, he'd always score. In the beginning, the B trio did all they could to intercept the ball or disturb Qin Feng when shooting. In the end, they covered their eyes. They really didn't want to face such humiliation. Swish. This time, Qin Feng shot with his toes and made a swish. Oh, I made 48 points without knowing it. If I make another shot, our competition will be over and you 3 will have lost. Qin Feng walked up to the B trio with a smile. The 3 of them lowered their heads and said nothing. If they said anything now, it would equate to getting another slap from Qin Feng. They were already afraid of Qin Feng and regretted challenging this abnormal monster in basketball. It's okay if you guys don't talk, but after losing, keep your promise and don't bother Lu Wenjing again. If I find out that you did, I'll break your arms and legs. Qin Feng held the basketball and his smiling expression suddenly became glacial. The air around the B trio turned cold, and gusts of wintry air made them unable to breathe. Then I'm going to make this last shot. After talking trash, Qin Feng suddenly laughed. He didn't even look at the hoop and lightly lifted one hand. The basketball handsomely headed toward the basket. Whoosh! Everyone's gazes congregated on this one ball. It was a shot that could end the game, and immediately end the B trio's legend of invincibility in basketball. Smack! A dull noise suddenly came from the basketball court. The ball Qin Feng had thrown was smacked away by someone. This was a tall and handsome man. He wore a white robe and held a wooden folding fan. No one knew where he came from, but he blocked Qin Feng's shot. Haha! Who knew I'd be able to meet Prince Qin here? Say, isn't this destiny? Sima Tu casually walked toward Qin Feng, as if he hadn't hit the basketball off course earlier. Amazement flashed in Qin Feng's eyes. He hadn't expected to encounter Sima Tu here. When the Hao family fell into trouble, this guy went off the radar. Now that he suddenly appeared and came at him personally, Qin Feng was a bit alarmed. So it's Prince Sima. It's destiny indeed. A vulgar smile arose on Qin Feng's face. This was the expression a hedonistic young master should have. Prince Sima, you jumped really high at first and startled me. I didn't even see where you came from and you already landed on the ground. Qin Feng's smile intensified. In the past, before he had the hedonist sovereign system, he never fought Sima Tuesday. He hadn't known about cultivation and hidden experts outside of society in the world. Now that Qin Feng encountered these things, he began to dip his toes into this world. He found that Sima Tu was also a martial cultivator, and from his simple interception, it was clear that Sima Tu wasn't weak. Haha, I only displayed slight skill in the face of an expert. Compared to Prince Qin, I'm nothing. Sima Tu waved with a smile. You seem to be in the middle of a game? Nice. I usually like playing basketball as exercise. How about letting me join? Since Prince Qin is so amazing, you naturally don't need help. Then I'll join that three-man group. Why don't we use 1 point to decide on the victor? Once Sima Tu suddenly appeared, he looked to be picking a fight. Qin Feng hesitated a bit. Seeing that Qin Feng didn't respond, Sima Tu continued with a smile. There's no need to be worried, Prince Qin. I just haven't seen you in so long. So now that I've had the good fortune of meeting you again on a basketball court and seeing you play, I wanted to join in and play with you. Consider it a deepening of our many years of friendship. Haha, just thinking about playing basketball with Prince Sima sounds fun. How could I not agree? Then let's begin. Qin Feng's gaze swept over the sidelines of the court. Uncle Qi stood very conspicuously in his gray wrap among the army of women. The instant Qin Feng saw Uncle Qi, he agreed to Sima Tu's addition to the competition. He knew that Sima Tu came prepared today, so if he didn't agree, he wouldn't be able to leave. Prince Qin is indeed refreshing. Then let's begin. Since we have more people, you start with the ball first. Sima Tu waved his large hand, sending his wooden fan flying. It landed accurately in Uncle Qi's hand. He tapped his foot lightly and immediately arrived beside the basketball that was countless meters away. Then he kicked the basketball, which flew toward Qin Feng like an apparition. Gasp! When the nearly 100 women saw this, they all gave startled gasps. Lu Wenjing squeezed her hands tightly together in worry for Qin Feng. She was a smart woman, and she could already tell that Qin Feng and that man in the white robe had some conflict between them. Prince Sima's soccer skills really are amazing. If China sent you to participate in the World Cup, our team would be qualified to compete. Fierceness flitted through Qin Feng's face and quickly disappeared. He quickly turned and dodged the flying basketball. Then, he did a backflip and moved quicker than the flying basketball. He didn't allow the ball to continue on its path, but did a bicycle kick, sending the ball back. Swish! The basketball sliced through the air and flew toward Sima Tu's head. Sima Tu's lips quirked as he stood motionless in place and allowed the basketball to rush at him. Whoosh! Sima Tu squatted into a horse stance and fiercely shot both of his hands forward. The air around him seemed to disperse, producing a surging sound. The flying basketball suddenly stopped and spun in place half a meter from Sima Tuesday. An inner chi expert! Qin Feng's eyes widened and his heart leapt. He hadn't thought Sima Tu would be an inner chi expert. It wasn't hard to tell from the power that shot out of Sima Tu's body that he had just achieved stage 4 inner chi. The chi on his body was robust but not sturdy enough. It was very similar to that of the provincial capital's Liang family's Liang Zhenwei. However, it wasn't as strong as Liang Zhenwei's chi. Qin Feng recently killed Liang Zhenwei outside the Zhao family villa, and his abilities improved vastly since. Thus, after seeing Sima Tu's abilities, Qin Feng was no longer that nervous. Whether it be the B trio or the army of women, all of them looked on, stunned. The B trio was going to join forces with Sima Tu to deal with Qin Feng, but once they saw the scene before them, they felt extraneous on the court. Bang! A dull sound was heard. The energy on the basketball was completely eliminated by Sima Tuesday. It was completely under his control and he smacked the ball back at Qin Feng. Sima Tu's hands didn't touch the basketball, but an invisible chi flow passed from his hand to the ball, and Sima Tu manipulated the chi flow to control the ball. A stage 4 inner chi expert was familiar with controlling chi, so the basketball took on a new life in Sima Tu's hands. It bounced nimbly at his feet. The rhythm and agility made even the B trio gasp continuously in shock. Prince Qin, I'm going to attack. You better be ready. Sima Tu got closer and closer to Qin Feng, and the mirth he hid in his eyes became stronger and stronger. Sima Tu suddenly jumped up and prepared to shoot. Qin Feng leapt up as well, and jumped a head higher than Sima Tu, blocking Sima Tu's line of sight. Sima Tu's hands moved, but not in a motion to shoot the ball. He slashed toward Qin Feng's chest with his previously empty hands that now held daggers that looked like both light and fog and gleamed with blue light. Slash! The daggers landed, but they didn't cut Qin Feng's chest. They fell on a pair of hard gloves exuding white, wintry air and produced an ear-splitting scrape. Sima Tu's and Qin Feng's eyes twinkled radiantly. The two of them looked amazed. Clang! Fuck, so it was you who dared to lay a finger on Prince Qin's woman. Don't you know that bottom line of Prince Qin is almost non-existent? His only bottom line is his own woman. Bang bang. Bang bang bang. Using all their strength, Qin Feng and Sima Tu sent a few hard kicks at Gao Hu. Both of them were kicking and at the same time yelling at each other. Even though they were kicking Gao Hu and scolding Gao Hu, only the two of them understood the reality. Qin Feng, please stop. He's dying. Lu Wenjing couldn't keep silent anymore. She almost couldn't recognize the bloody battered person as Gao Hu. She was afraid that if they continued to kick him like this, Qin Feng might actually kill this man. Since my woman had spoken, then this young master will spare your life today. If you dare to lay a finger on my woman again, I'll annihilate your entire Gao family. Qin Feng suppressed his rage, pasted a smile on his face, looked at Sima Tu and said, Prince Sima, I would like to convey my gratitude for your help in lecturing this little brat. For you to teach a lesson to a small creature like him will really sully your image. It's fine. This person dared to entertain filthy thoughts of Prince Qin's woman. It'd be light if I didn't chop his limbs off. What's our relationship? Please don't be so courteous with me, laughed Sima Tu as he waved his hand. Prince Sima indeed knows me well. I, Qin Feng, am not interested in other things. The only thing I care about is my woman. If anyone dares to lay a finger on my woman, I'll kill him and annihilate his entire family. I, Qin Feng, have always been faithful to and cherished my women. Even if a good friend like Prince Sima were to have such a filthy thought, I swear, I won't let you off easily. The atmosphere suddenly dropped below zero. Qin Feng and Sima Tu looked fixedly at each other, their eyes gleaming with an icy cold aura. Haha, of course the last sentence was a joke. Prince Sima and I share a deep friendship. I expect you won't do such an unruly and monstrous thing. Qin Feng suddenly laughed. Am I right, Prince Sima? Of course, of course. How would I lay my hands on Prince Qin's woman? Oh yeah, I have some important tasks to do. I should excuse myself now. Next time let's invite Zhou Kai and Hao Yun for a get-together. It has been a long time since we, the four princes of Acropolis City, have assembled. Oh yeah, what a forgetful person I am. I forgot the Hao family was destroyed by someone previously. Hey, the four of us will never have another chance to get together for the rest of our lives. I shouldn't speak any longer. I'll excuse myself now. After Sima Tu took his leave, Uncle Qi, who was standing at the sidelines, followed him and left quietly. Qin Feng left as well. He dragged along Lu Wenjing and left Normal University at once. All the male students in this university were secretly trying to seize the opportunity to get revenge on him. On the other hand, all the female students blatantly confessed and offered their kisses to him. They even tried to molest him. Qin Feng really didn't have the courage to stay in this university any longer. Qin Feng, release me right now. Where are you taking me to? I want to go home. After they exited the university, Lu Wenjing forcibly shook off Qin Feng's arms and eyed him warily. It was almost evening now and the sky was darkening. Lu Wenjing didn't dare to stay with Qin Feng any longer. Otherwise, she would really become this big bad wolf's bed partner tonight. Jing Jing, please follow me to a place, then give me 10 minutes. I'm going to resolve all the conflicts between us. Qin Feng stepped forward and grabbed Lu Wenjing. This time, his expression was much more solemn. After he'd exchanged blows with Sima Tu, Qin Feng realized there were a lot of martial artists in this world. Even in Acropolis City, there was a person among his peers in Sima family who was a stage 4 Qi master. Then, how about those of his peers from the major families in the capital? What would their level of strength be? Qin Feng thought about the Qin family's competition 10 months from now at the provincial capital, the mystery of his mother's origin, and then his enemies. Qin Feng felt he should clear his quests faster and improve his strength as soon as possible. Where are you taking me to? Lu Wenjing couldn't break free of Qin Feng's grip. Chapter 282. Chapter 282 resolved the conflict. When Lu Wenjing got her feet on the ground, she was ready to beat up Qin Feng. But once she heard Qin Feng call her fat, she placed her hands on her hips and glared at Qin Feng in a huff. Qin Feng, search your conscience and say that again. I'm fat? I'm as thin as a flash of lightning. Do you have eyes? When Qin Feng saw how cute Lu Wenjing was when she was angry, he patted her head, smiled and said, since you know you're as thin as a flash of lightning, then why don't you eat more to replenish your strength? You're growing and maturing right now, so don't mistreat your body to maintain your figure or whatnot. It would be bad if you got a stomach illness like enteritis or something. Qin Feng pointed at the sofa and coffee table to the side. Go sit for a bit first. We haven't had supper yet, so I had someone bring something over. We'll eat while chatting. Lu Wenjing was stunned. She looked stupidly at Qin Feng and forgot her anger at him. Both of her parents passed away when she was young. In the beginning, she lived in an orphanage with her little sister. Then when she was 14, they left the orphanage and lived on their own. The bitterness and hardships she faced during that time were still fresh in her mind. Since she was young, she lacked parental love, and she almost forgot how it felt to be cared for. Now that Qin Feng suddenly touched her head with such gentleness and said such caring words, Lu Wenjing's eyes became moist. I'm not eating. I have to go back. My little sister is still waiting for me at home. Lu Wenjing quickly came to, and the moved and warm expression on her face instantly disappeared. She looked at Qin Feng with a guarded expression again. How could she not know that this pervert Qin Feng was probably treating her well, and using flowery but insincere speech to cheat her of her body? You have a little sister as well? How old is she? Is she as beautiful as you? If so, then I must see her when I get the chance, said Qin Feng with a smile. Lu Wenjing suddenly rushed up and kicked Qin Feng. She seemed as though she would go completely mad. Qin Feng, I'm warning you. You can do whatever you want to me, but if you dare have any crooked thoughts about my little sister, I'll stop at nothing to kill you. Qin Feng rubbed his shin. This girl was wearing 15 centimeters high heels, so it did hurt a bit when she kicked him. I say, violent woman, I was just teasing you. I've never even seen your younger sister, so how could I have any inappropriate thoughts about her? Qin Feng stared at Lu Wenjing. Lu Wenjing regained her senses and thought that she was too rash earlier. However, she wasn't going to apologize to Qin Feng because she felt that Qin Feng owed her more. I have to head back. Don't look for me again. I feel annoyed just looking at you. Lu Wenjing tried to leave again. It wasn't easy for Qin Feng to get this girl to the phone group space. If he didn't explain the situation to Lu Wenjing tonight, how could he possibly let her go? He grabbed her and tugged her onto the sofa. Jing, leave after eating. I still have something to tell you. Qin Feng suddenly became serious. I won't eat, but if you have something to say, say it. Lu Wenjing looked at Qin Feng with a guarded expression. She was afraid Qin Feng would drug her food. She didn't dare eat food he gave her. Do you know what room you're sitting in right now? Qin Feng laughed. What room? This is the Fei Tian bar space, and the phone group space. Jing, you're in the phone group space right now. Only the top brass of the phone group can come here. Lu Wenjing's expression changed drastically. She jumped in shock. She didn't know why Qin Feng brought her to the phone group space, but she wouldn't believe Qin Feng's bullshit about giving her the phone group. She had a bad premonition. This beast wasn't going to force himself on her in this room, was he? When she thought about how Qin Feng hid a whip on his body, she was even more certain of her guess. Didn't they have whip service in movies? You big pervert, why you better not do anything reckless. Otherwise, I'll kill myself in front of you. Lu Wenjing suddenly grabbed the fruit knife from the work desk and pressed it to her neck. Looking at Lu Wenjing with astonishment, Qin Feng was so shocked that he almost spilled the tea in the cup in his hand. Jing, what are you doing? Quickly put down the knife. Don't hurt yourself. Qin Feng walked over with some worry. Lu Wenjing became even more nervous. She stuck the blade of the knife close to her clear, jade-like and beautiful neck, producing a red imprint. Qin Feng, don't force me. I'll really kill myself. Qin Feng paused in his steps and looked helplessly at Lu Wenjing. Jing, why would you kill yourself? If you do a striptease or show me some moves in bed, I'll definitely really like it. Humph, you stupid pervert. I knew you didn't have any good intentions in bringing me here. Move, I want to leave. Lu Wenjing glared coldly at Qin Feng. The knife in her hand stayed close to her neck, and she carefully walked toward the door. She hadn't gotten there yet when it was suddenly pushed open. Longhair and his two brothers each walked in with two fine dishes. Young Master Qin, the food and wine you wanted are here. Longhair smiled and greeted Qin Feng. He had just finished speaking when he saw Lu Wenjing with the blade pressed to her neck. He was so frightened that he almost dropped the plates in his hands. Big sister-in-law, what are you doing? Longhair quickly came to. His vision wasn't bad. Once he saw Lu Wenjing's outstandingly beautiful features, he knew she must be a woman that young Master Qin brought. Longhair was jealous to death of Qin Feng. He had seen a good number of Qin Feng's women. In jail he saw Han Ying. Outside the Zhao family villa, he saw Zhao Lingxian. And not long ago, he saw teacher Yun Xiao at the bar. Today he saw Lu Wenjing. They were each more beautiful than the last, and each had her own unique style. Big sister-in-law? Who are you calling big sister-in-law? Lu Wenjing glared at Longhair, but she was quickly stunned. Because she had heard of Longhair and his brothers. From the outside, these three were the bosses of the phone group. Lu Wenjing actually yelled at the boss of a gang. She currently trembled. She was afraid the three of them would suddenly rush over to beat her up. Longhair, put the dishes down, said Qin Feng. Jing, put away the knife. Let's sit, talk and eat. After seeing Longhair and his brothers, Lu Wenjing was in a bit of a daze. She didn't even notice when Qin Feng walked over to her and grabbed the knife out of her hand. Qin Feng hugged Lu Wenjing and sat her on the sofa. He helped set up her utensils and napkin, then smiled and said, Jing, these three are the phone group's figurehead bosses, and they're my subordinates. The first time we met was at Fei Tian Bar. At the time, you pulled me into joining your one group and made it known that you wanted to fight the phone group. But back then, I was the phone group's boss behind the scenes. Say, isn't it destiny between us? Isn't what happened in between funny? Qin Feng slowly sliced a steak and placed it on Lu Wenjing's plate. He only recounted memories the two of them shared. Later, you gathered the one group members at the Rujia Hotel. After going, I realized that these people weren't looking to fight together with you. They were all after your beauty. They originally wanted to force themselves on you. Then I brainwashed them in the restroom and brought them to meet the Wild Wolf Gang members. While the one group fought the Wild Wolf Gang, the phone group occupied all of the Wild Wolf Gang's territory in the Northern District. After the two of us fought and defeated over 100 Wild Wolf Gang members, I joked about using you. Who would have thought that you'd treat it as fact? Then I didn't even get the chance to explain. The police came, you ran away, and I remained to deal with the aftermath. Lastly, you hid. I used the phone group's power, yet I couldn't find you. Who knew I'd coincidentally bump into you at Lotus Lake today? And you know what happened next? That's right, my real identity is young Master Qin. I'm Acropolis City's #1 hedonistic young master. I'm not sure if you've heard of me. Qin Feng proactively revealed everything to Lu Wenjing because he trusted her. He was even prepared to make this cute and stubborn woman his. Though Qin Feng was dissolute and hedonistic, he wasn't lowly. Chapter 283. Chapter 283. I won't let you find me. Teaser. Lu Wenjing fell silent. She thought what Qin Feng had said was true. She was here in Qin Feng's territory, the base of the phone group. Would she have any chance to escape his grasp now? Lu Wenjing lowered her guard against Qin Feng. She'd stood as a car show girl for a whole morning, and she hadn't eaten anything all afternoon. Now she was so hungry her stomach growled. Without hesitation, she opened her mouth and devoured the steak. This steak is cooked to perfection. It's so yummy. Savoring the steak, Lu Wenjing smiled, her eyes curving into crescent moons. Ah, Qin Feng, you've eaten with this fork and it got your saliva on it. How can you feed me with this fork? That's so gross. Lu Wenjing's fussiness tickled Qin Feng. Although she complained non-stop with an angry face, but she didn't spit the steak out. She still enjoyed it with great pleasure. Only Lu Wenjing was eating this meal. Qin Feng, on the other hand, just sat beside her and weighed. He intimately helped her cut the steak, poured the juice, and handed tissue to her. If those women in Acropolis City saw Lu Wenjing get this kind of treatment, they would have been jealous of her. After she had eaten and drunk to her heart's content, Lu Wenjing wiped her sexy cherry lips with a tissue. She pat her belly, which was bulging slightly, and smiled shyly at Qin Feng. With a beaming smile on his face, Qin Feng stroked her head. After that, he waved to Longhair and his two brothers to clear the table. Jing, since we've resolved our conflict, I hope you won't hold a grudge against me anymore. The reason I brought you to the phone group today is because I want you to take over the phone group. From now on, you'll be the female head of the phone group. Longhair and his two brothers will be under your command. This phone group is all yours now. You can do whatever you want with it. As Longhair and his two brothers cleared the table, Qin Feng lightly held Lu Wenjing in his arms. Lu Wenjing had wanted to break free of Qin Feng's embrace, but when she heard what he had said, she was so stunned that she forgot to struggle. Qin Feng wants to leave the phone group in my hands? How is that even possible? After a brief moment of astonishment, Lu Wenjing swiftly regained her senses. She was fully revitalized now that she had her fill. Her brain was revolving fast and very soon, she realized Qin Feng's intention. This brat was going to hoodwink her with his bait again. What do you mean you'll be the female head of the phone group? In the end, isn't your true goal to dominate my body? Scoffed Lu Wenjing in her heart. She had seen too many pretty boys like Qin Feng giving empty promises. Qin Feng, please don't touch me so casually, okay? I'm not familiar with you anyway. Lu Wenjing deliberately pushed Qin Feng away. A guarded expression once again showed on her face. Also, I refuse to become the head of the phone group. Please find somebody else. I'm heading back now. And you, please step out of my life. I don't want to see your face ever again. Lu Wenjing faked a tantrum and ran to the exit. She was scared to death in her heart. This house had 3 mobsters and a hedonist young master. Each and every one of them could devour her whole without leaving any bones. Lu Wenjing suddenly had the urge to cry out loud. Why did she fall so carelessly into this wolf den? Jing, wait. Qin Feng's voice resounded once Lu Wenjing reached the door. Longhair and his two brothers moved a bit and blocked the door like 3 huge mountains and looked at Lu Wenjing with respectful smiles. Young Master Qin, please give me a break. I've old and young at my home. And I still have a little sister who needs my care. Can you please not bully me anymore? Wah. Wah, sis, you're hurting my arm. Why are you so adamant on seeing my private matters? I'm grown up and I have my own secrets. Lu Xiaojia burst into tears. She was ready to trick her older sister and conceal her information. As expected, when Lu Wenjing saw her sister crying so sadly, her heart immediately softened. She carried her sister to the edge of the bed and patted her head comfortingly. Xiaojia, big sis won't look at your phone. Am I honest and kind-hearted? Someone who never bullies you or covets your beauty before. Holy Jesus, you're just my superior. It doesn't mean you can bully me like that. Qin Feng, please don't force me to lie. You know I don't know how to lie. Su Ruoro cast an aggravated gaze at Qin Feng. Like a deflated balloon, Qin Feng puffed and his vigilant attitude softened all of a sudden. He decided he'd lecture Su Ruoro tonight when they arrived at home. Since when has this lass started to bite the hand that feeds her? Hee Qin Feng, what do you have to say? Liu Chan had just spoken when she heard the sound of ripping stockings. She felt a gust of cold air caress her thigh. Qin Feng tore the black stocking on her left leg in half. Ah! Qin Feng, I'll kill you. Rip! Liu Chen's elegant fists missed Qin Feng, and the stocking on her right leg was also torn. Stinking woman, see how I deal with you today. In the future, be my lover obediently. The allure of the beautiful legs lit a fire in Qin Feng's belly. He waved his large hand and tossed the torn stockings to the floor. He smiled evilly at Liu Chan and pounced on her. Qin Feng, the event's beginning. Hurry and come out. Su Ruoro's pleasant voice came from outside the room, and her urgent knocking was heard as well. Qin Feng pursed his lips and looked angrily at Liu Chan and said, "Consider yourself lucky today. Next time look for me while wearing white stockings. I think you'd be even sexier in white stockings." Pervert. Qin Feng walked out of the lounge. There was an addition of 4 bodyguards clad in black and a dozen employees in the VIP room. They were scrambling to prepare for the impending opening ceremony. Qin Feng, is the manager Li all right? Su Ruoro tugged on Qin Feng's arm and looked worriedly at Qin Feng. The lounge didn't have very good soundproofing. Qin Feng and Liu Chen's intense actions could be heard from outside. Actually, I think Manager Li is a pretty good person and she takes good care of me at work. Qin Feng, don't bully her. Though she is a couple of years older than us, she's a woman, and women need to feel safe and to be cared for. Su Ruoro looked earnestly at Qin Feng. I know. Qin Feng looked back earnestly at Su Ruoro as well. The wild and vulgar expression he had in the lounge disappeared. He furrowed his brows with a deep and unfathomable expression. Ah, you know? Then why did you still treat Manager Li that way? She's usually hardworking, suffers, and has no boyfriend to care for her. I actually think she's pretty pitiful. Su Ruoro hugged Qin Feng's arm and looked at him foolishly. Because she likes me. Qin Feng waggled his eyebrows, and his expression became heavier. Su Ruoro shoved Qin Feng's arm away with a huff and said, Qin Feng, I'm serious. Can't you be more serious even for a bit? Qin Feng felt as though Su Ruoro stabbed him in the heart. He looked at her earnestly. Ruoro, I'm very serious. General Manager Li likes me. This time even Rao Sherman, who was sitting quietly to the side, couldn't listen on. She opened her sexy red lips and 2 adjectives drifted indifferently out of her mouth: shameless. Perverted. Ruoro is going to ignore you as well. Su Ruoro glared at Qin Feng and huffed as she ran over to sit beside Rao Sherman. Qin Feng sat alone on one side. He suddenly felt incomparably wronged. Now you know why I'm so shameless and dissolute and why lies come out of my mouth when I open it, because no one believes me when I tell the truth. This was an era when if men weren't bad, women didn't love them. Qin Feng really believed that Liu Chen liked him, and was certain that he wasn't wrong. He discovered this after returning from Qingshui town because Liu Chen changed. She became jealous, wanted to bicker with him, and wanted to be with him. Qin Feng was increasingly shameless and mean toward her because he detected her feelings. He taught her time and time again and even acted like a hoodlum. Qin Feng didn't want Liu Chen to fall too deep, because he had no reason to accept a good woman like Liu Chen. He had been to the village Liu Chen grew up in and saw her straightforward and honest father and forceful and sincere mother. He began to gain a deep understanding of Liu Chen's feelings and life. The more he knew of her, the more he cherished and cared for her. Qin Feng learned of Liu Chen's impoverished but happy youth, her soft and lonely heart under her strong exterior, and that she was of marriageable age and longed impatiently for the arrival of a prince on a white horse. She was beautiful on the outside and just as bright on the inside. Qin Feng couldn't give her monogamy and love. He could only wish she found the right person and lived happily ever after. Miss Sherman, everything is prepared and in order. Chairman Qin is on stage ready to begin at any moment. Come with us backstage. After Chairman Qin speaks, it'll be your turn to go on stage to perform. The deputy manager of Royal Group's administrative department, Wang Jun, ran over urgently. When he saw Qin Feng, he nodded subtly in greeting. Okay. Thank you for your troubles. Rao Sherman smiled politely at Wang Jun, then stood and walked out. October was rainy and it was drizzling outside. However, this did nothing to lessen the fervor of the opening ceremony because Royal Group was able to invite the famous celebrity Rao Sherman to help. The stage was filled with people. A row of 4 bodyguards in black stood in front, and Rao Sherman followed leisurely in her red qipao. Su Ruro carried the train of Rao Sherman's long dress. She trailed Rao Sherman like a beautiful little flower girl. Qin Feng was in charge of staying by her side, paying attention to the surroundings. On stage, Qin Huang was dressed immaculately. His aura was unordinary, and he was saying his thanks before the opening. There were a good number of rows of chairs below the stage. Royal Group's old patrons and investors sat there, and more shareholders stood to the side and weighed how the event progressed. Firstly, on behalf of all employees of Royal Group, I want to express my extreme gratitude that you all could take time from your busy schedules to participate in the opening of Cloud City, Hua Manor Phase 2. Cloud City Hua Manor is Royal Group's second high-class collection of villas. Because Cloud City Hua Manor Phase 1 was so popular, the second phase is being opened to repay your love and support for Royal Group. As Acropolis City's richest man, it was difficult to see Qin Huang. Though he spoke politely, the audience were in a great mood. They were extremely excited to see Qin Huang in person. Quite a few people pulled out their phones to take pictures, and various large tabloids took lots of pictures and fought for the frontmost position. Let me announce the opening of Cloud City Hua Manor Phase 2's residences. Customers can go to the sales department to look at the buildings and pre-order them. Next is our program's highlight. Royal Group has specially invited China's A-list superstar, Miss Rao Sherman, to come perform. Let us give a warm welcome to Sherman as we invite her on stage. Rao Sherman was going to appear. The crowd below immediately fell into a frenzy. Half of the audience at Royal Group's opening ceremony was there just to see Rao Sherman. And of the reporters there, most of them were entertainment reporters that came just to film Rao Sherman. Amidst the audience's cheers and screams, Rao Sherman wore a red qipao with a high slit. Once her fair, unblemished, long legs were revealed, the audience was in a daze. Su Ruro held Rao Sherman's dress and brought her on stage. Then she shyly ran back off stage. Rao Sherman stood alone on the large and well-lit stage. She looked at the close to 1,000 people in the audience with a smile. Her smile contained no hint of nervousness or fear. She was China's A-lister, and her name was known around the world as well. Every year, she sang in concerts at stadiums with up to 100,000 people. There were only 1,000 people here, so that was a trifle to her. They could imagine the tragedy that would happen in the next second. Was this the fall of China's pure goddess? She was just getting started, still in the prime of her life. Shroom! A gale suddenly blew past the crowd, and a shadow disappeared in a blink of an eye. Qin Feng tapped his foot and arrived above the stage right away. He understood now. The 2 gunshots weren't fired at anyone but at the screws on stage. They shattered the makeshift stage directly. Were these people aiming at Rao Sherman? Chapter 288. Chapter 288. Live and die together. Sherman, get down quickly. I can't hold on for much longer, said Qin Feng through gritted teeth. Rao Sherman only now regained her senses from the shock and the passionate kiss. She quickly ran off the stage when she saw Qin Feng's completely red face. PFFF. Rao Sherman had just gotten off the stage when a mouthful of fresh blood sprayed out of Qin Feng's mouth. He currently had stage 3 external abilities and intermediate Thunder Tiger Fists, and could exert 7 times a normal person's strength. However, his body could only withstand 5 times the weight that normal people could withstand, around 300 to 350 kilograms. Though Qin Feng usually wore the 250 kilograms flying dragon armor, and it helped raise his endurance, even when he exerted inner qi, holding up the 500 kilograms metal frame was his limit. PFFF. Qin Feng opened his mouth to spit another mouthful of fresh blood. Every time a mouthful of blood came out, his endurance dropped slightly. The metal frame felt heavier and heavier. Qin Feng's lower body had already sunk into the wooden stage, and he had no way of freeing himself. Qin Feng. When the three girls saw this scene, they ran to Qin Feng. Rao Sherman, Su Ru Ro, and Liu Chun squatted beside Qin Feng, and three pairs of soft hands got a death grip on the enormous metal frame. Though they knew it was impossible, they attempted to help push the metal frame off Qin Feng's back. Even if they couldn't push it off, at least they'd help a bit by sharing some of its weight. "Leave! All of you leave!" Qin Feng roared angrily. The three women were shocked. It was their first time seeing Qin Feng so angry. They didn't know that this was because Qin Feng couldn't take it anymore. The metal frame would fall down completely at any moment, and if the three of them didn't leave, it would kill them. "Qin Feng, I'm not leaving. I'm going to stay with you." Su Roro hugged Qin Feng and burst into tears. Rao Sherman's and Liu Chen's charming eyes glistened with tears as well, but they were stronger. They raised their heads and didn't allow their tears to fall. "Qin Feng, hurry and come out. If you come out now, I'll disregard the matter of you ripping my stockings in the lounge earlier. And I'll even wear white stockings tomorrow and let you do what you want to me in my office," said Liu Chun anxiously. "Qin Feng, you're like this because of me. I can't leave either." Rao Sherman's tone was staunch as well. The three women all had their reasons for staying. They had death grips on the metal frame and looked like they wouldn't leave without Qin Feng. Qin Feng's lips lifted slightly. He really wanted to burst into tears because he was so moved by the three women. When he was really young, he was envied because of his illustrious family background. He was forcefully crowned a hedonistic young master that was dissolute and vulgar. He couldn't rid himself of this title even if he wanted to. Thus, Qin Feng simply indulged himself and became a real hedonistic young master. Every day he indulged in feasting, pleasure-seeking, and mutual deception. He knew that every person that got close to him had ulterior motives. Everyone in Acropolis City knew his name, yet Qin Feng didn't have any real friends. Qin Feng pretty much played with all of the beauties in Acropolis, but no one treated him wholeheartedly. Qin Feng felt as though his life was a complete failure back then. It looked bright and beautiful from the outside, but he was lonely. He hadn't imagined that there would be a day when he'd have a friend that he could devote himself to, or a woman who would be willing to die for him. Now there were three silly women kneeling before him. Their knees were scraped and their soft little hands were cut, but they didn't leave or give up on him. For a long time there had still been nothing. Then his stagnant body suddenly boiled crazily. He looked like he really wanted to rush up and kill her, but a flash of nervousness flitted across his face. At this time he hid behind a wall and didn't dare peek out. Between one gunshot and two flying daggers, it was clear that the girl would beat him. Across from them at 8 o'clock on the third floor of a villa, a woman filled with an icy and murderous air half-squatted on the balcony by a wall. She had clean and neat light purple ear-length hair. She wore tight, black leather clothing and black boots, and the black boots were filled with various daggers. She also wore a black veil so her features weren't completely visible. However, one could tell from her vibrant eyes that she was very attractive. Her eyes were as bright as stars and clear and calm like water. Every time she blinked, they were like twinkling stars that could sway the viewer's mood. This was a woman who could topple cities and countries with her beauty, and was also an expert with a murderous aura. The last time she appeared, her goal had been to harm Qin Feng on Lotus Lake. This time she appeared at Phase 2 of Cloud City Hua Manor, and her agenda temporarily swayed to helping Qin Feng deal with the members of the Golden Assassin crew. "Stinking brat, your great-aunt lured out the target for you. If you still can't avoid that, then there's no need for me to work with you. I wish you luck," the young woman with black leather clothes and purple hair mumbled to herself, then disappeared. "We fell into a trap." Bronze number 1 suddenly sighed. Silver number 26 wasn't as cocky as before. He knew the two of them had been played, and played by a woman. The two of them hid behind the wall, looking for the woman. Half a minute passed. They scanned the row of villas across from them, but they couldn't spot her. Based on their many years as assassins, they knew that woman was already gone. She suddenly appeared and disappeared, but she wasn't trying to fight them. She merely alerted Qin Feng, who was on the stage. She achieved her goal because Qin Feng's gaze now fell on the villa the two of them were at. "Miss Sherman, please leave with us." 4 bodyguards in black rushed on stage. Rao Sherman ignored them and continued to hold up the large frame with Su Ruoro and Liu Chan. 2 assassins are hiding at 1 o'clock. Hurry and take these 3 women away. If they don't leave, then drag them away. Qin Feng discovered the positions of the assassins and naturally couldn't allow the 3 women to remain by his side. After Qin Feng spoke, the expressions of the 4 well-trained bodyguards in black changed. 3 of them grabbed Rao Sherman, Su Ruoro, and Liu Chan and led them to safety. The last one handled the final details. He kept Hua and reported the assassin's location into his walkie-talkie, while trying to spot the assassins. Qin Feng, I'm not leaving. Don't touch me. Let go. Don't worry about me. I can walk. Hurry and save Qin Feng. He can't hold out much longer. Qin Feng, you got in trouble to save me. How can I leave? I want to leave when you do. The 3 women were taken away by the bodyguards, and each of them fought to run back. Qin Feng looked on, and the boiling qi flow within him went berserk. He felt as though his body would explode in the next second. Qin Feng moved. He disappeared in front of the duo again. Seeing no blood on the parapet, Silver number 26 knew he'd missed Qin Feng. When he realized he'd missed again, he became mad. He was a top assassin in Golden Assassin Crew's Silver Group. His bullets had never missed any of his targets until today. This was the 4th time he'd missed since he'd met Qin Feng and that mysterious woman. Brat, let me Bronze number 1 meet you face to face. You dared to kill 2 dauntless warriors from my Bronze group. Today will be your demise. As soon as Silver number 26 fired, Bronze number 1 made his move. His white robe shrieked loudly in the wind and his speed was as fast as a lightning bolt, casting an afterimage in one's eyes. In a large garden behind the villa, Qin Feng stood with his hands clasped behind his back. He intentionally lured Bronze number 1 here because this place was a better place for a fight. Virum. A buzzing suddenly drifted over from the sky. From a small white dot, the figure of Bronze number 1 grew larger and larger. Earlier he was unarmed, but now a long staff gleaming with an icy aura had appeared in his hand. The staff revolved quickly like a helicopter's rotor blades above Bronze number 1's head, hurtling him toward Qin Feng. A staff and a person, white robe and bald. Qin Feng suspected that this person was really a brawler monk from a temple. Brat, wa my staff. Bronze number 1 gave out a loud battle cry as he landed. He tapped on the ground lightly and swung his long staff at Qin Feng's head. Dang! When the long staff neared the tip of Qin Feng's nose, Qin Feng waved his big hand and summoned a long sword with pale yellow glow. The true steel sword clashed with the phantom staff, releasing a screeching sound that was deafening to one's ears. Orange-grade spiritual weapon. Bronze number 1's eyes were flashing brightly. He gazed at the shining true steel sword in Qin Feng's hand and exclaimed, so this was the reason why number 5 and number 8 still couldn't defeat you even after they joined hands. It's because you own an orange-grade spiritual weapon. The monk is going to take this orange-grade treasure sword today. The long staff in Bronze number 1 trembled suddenly. An enormous strength was then released from the staff, forcing Qin Feng to back 3 steps. At this moment, Bronze number 1 leaped over Qin Feng's head, and with the phantom staff in his hand, he smashed it down ferociously. Shroom shroom shroom. It looked like an ordinary strike, but it drew a dozen staff shadows with murderous intent in midair. Each and every one of the staff shadows had enormous strength. If the strike landed on an ordinary person, it could easily shatter a person's bones and smashed him into a meat pulp in an instant. If an external expert cultivated inner strength, he could release the strength at once, but he needed to condense his inner strength before releasing it again. On the other hand, if an inner chi expert cultivated inner strength, he could release the strength a dozen times in a single strike without needing to condense it again. Looking at the gleaming staff shadows that covered the sky, Qin Feng knew the brawler monk in front of him was an inner chi expert. From the violent aura released by the staff shadows, Qin Feng deduced that the strength of this brawler monk was at least on par with Liang Zhengwei, who was a stage 4 inner chi expert when Qin Feng met him. Qin Feng was only a stage 2 external expert back then. After he completed the mission, acquiring Zhao Lingxian's affection, and bought a basic sword skill, he'd successfully broken through to stage 1 inner chi. Then he killed Liang Zhengwei, who was stage 4 inner chi expert, with a single slash. He remained in his original place and waved his left hand so fast it formed dozens of phantom shadows. The true steel sword in his hand moved like an illusion, drawing layers of orange-colored light above his head. The sword auras instantly collided with the staff shadows, causing a series of explosions. "Stinking brat, you're an inner chi expert as well?" The countenance of Bronze Number 1 changed drastically as he refused to accept the fact. He was now 35 years old and had just stepped into the realm of stage 4 inner chi. He could reach this stage in such a short time only because he stole the Phantom Staff and the scroll of the Phantom Staff technique from his sect. And now, Qin Feng was only around 20 years old, but the sword aura he released was easily a ma for his staff style. Bronze Number 1 wouldn't have been surprised if this kind of genius appeared in the provincial capital, but how could a genius martial artist appear in a small city like Acropolis City? Shouldn't an assassin investigate his target first before killing him? Isn't a little bit too late for you to realize the truth now? Qin Feng sneered. He suddenly leaped forward and came to Bronze Number 1's side. He hadn't drawn out his full potential yet, using only around 70% of his strength to test the strength of Bronze Number 1. After Qin Feng was certain that his opponent was in the realm of stage 4 inner chi, Qin Feng had no more apprehensions about killing an expert of this stage again with his current strength. The true steel sword slashed down fiercely from above. It looked like a simple slash, but it was filled with a strength that could topple mountains and overturn seas. The airstream around it splashed wide, causing a dozen explosions. Bronze Number 1 was frightened and planned to escape, but he realized his effort was futile. Qin Feng had cast his sword auras all over the place, blocking all the escape routes. Bang! A gunshot rang. Qin Feng, who wanted to slash Bronze Number 1, suddenly sheathed his sword and leaped backward, retreating a few meters away. On the ground where he'd just been, a bullet dug deeply into the soil. Bang bang! A hail of gunshots echoed. Qin Feng realized Silver Number 26 kept shifting positions because the bullets came from different places each time. Qin Feng, who'd had the upper hand just now, couldn't do anything but only jump around to dodge the barrage of attacks from Silver Number 26. What a talented youngster. But unfortunately, you offended the Golden Assassin crew and there's only one way out for you, die. Seeing a nimble Qin Feng dodge all of Silver Number 26's attacks, a hint of admiration flashed across Bronze Number 1's eyes. Only now did he realize the true strength of Qin Feng. This person's speed was faster than his and his inner chi was stronger and deeper than his. Luckily, the organization considered Qin Feng an extremely dangerous target and ordered him and Silver Number 26 to assassinate Qin Feng from both long range and close range. If not, Bronze Number 1 would already have been dead. The gunshots rang out continuously. Silver Number 26 was sniping from a distance to obstruct Qin Feng's attack. Bronze Number 1, on the other hand, was lurking around, waiting for the perfect moment to deal Qin Feng a fatal blow. When her jade hand fell on the zipper, she stopped for a while. After she mustered enough courage, she then gritted her teeth and pulled it downward. Qin Feng's trousers were damp with his blood and stuck to his thigh and wound. Lu Bingbing grew colder and more serious. She slowly pulled his trousers downward, trying to avoid rubbing his wound. The bright red trousers were slowly taken off by Lu Bingbing. Qin Feng lay front of Lu Bingbing in only his boxer briefs. His boxer briefs were stained with blood. The mouth of the wound gaped open, revealing gleaming white bone. Lu Bingbing initially thought she'd be very awkward after she took off Qin Feng's trousers. However, when she saw Qin Feng's wound, her eyes reddened and she almost cried. Qin Feng, bite this white cloth. It'll be very painful later. I'll try my best to remove the bullet fast. Please hold on for a bit. Lu Bingbing reminded Qin Feng gently. This was the first time Qin Feng saw such a gentle side to this lass. Forceps, alcohol, gauze, and steel tray. All the implements were neatly placed on the steel tray. Lu Bingbing took the forceps and sanitized it with an alcohol lamp. After she'd done her preparations, she then bent over Qin Feng's legs and carefully extracted the bullet from his thigh. This scene was too ambiguous. Qin Feng lay on the strayer, Lu Bingbing bent over his legs. People who didn't know better might think they were doing something they shouldn't. Ow! Lu Bingbing used the forceps and stabbed into Qin Feng's flesh. This was an unbearable pain that no one could withstand. Normally removing a bullet required general anesthesia or at least local anesthesia. But now Qin Feng hadn't taken anything, so he could feel the pain full well. When the icy cold forceps stabbed into his flesh, he couldn't hold back a loud cry. As he shouted, both of his hands instinctively grabbed something in front of him. He then squeezed hard on that thing. He didn't know what that was, but the texture was very good and made him forget the pain in his thigh. Ah! Qin Feng, what are you doing? Get your dirty paws off me now. A second before, Lu Bingbing had been feeling guilty for hurting Qin Feng, and the next second, she felt a sharp pain from her neckline. She was so angry that she almost gave this little brat a kick and laid waste to him. I am sorry. It was too painful. Qin Feng quickly released his hands and looked at Lu Bingbing awkwardly. Lu Bingbing took a few deep breaths to cool herself down. She stared icily at Qin Feng and then resumed her extraction of the bullet. Just now Lu Bingbing's forceps had already been inside his wound and almost reached the bullet. Frightened by Qin Feng's sudden ambush, she'd hastily pulled the forceps out without clamping tightly on the bullet. And now she had to do it all over again. When the forceps stabbed into his flesh, Qin Feng felt the pain and started to reach for something again. Ow! This time Qin Feng didn't have the guts to grab Lu Bingbing's neckline. He shifted targets and grabbed firmly at Lu Bingbing's calves. Lu Bingbing furrowed her eyebrows slightly, but in the end, she paid no heed to Qin Feng's movement and concentrated on removing the bullet. The forceps thrusted in and out of his wound. That feeling was so painful that his body trembled. Both of his hands moved all the way from Lu Bingbing's calves to her thighs and continued to move into a deeper place. However, his attempt was blocked by Lu Bingbing as she tightly clamped her legs. In the end, Qin Feng could only withdraw his hands and cling tightly to Lu Bingbing's booty. Ow ow! Ow ow ow! Every time Qin Feng yelped in pain, both of his hands would instinctively squeeze harder on Lu Bingbing's booty. A myriad of expressions flashed across Lu Bingbing's face. Her delicate and cold face was now entirely flushed, as red as a ripened tomato, and water seemed to be dripping from it. However, she didn't stop her hands. Instead, she tried very hard to maintain her composure and keep herself focused. When the forceps reached inside the wound, she clamped on that damn bullet and quickly pulled it out, successfully removing it. Dang! The bullet fell on the steel tray with a crisp sound. Weak and with all her energy spent, Lu Bingbing's body quivered and fell to the floor. She felt weak because her booty was the most sensitive part of her body. So when Qin Feng squeezed it, she was so grieved that she wished she was dead. Now she sat on the floor, champed with rage, and wished to treat Qin Feng to a feast of punches. However, she couldn't bear to do it. Ah, you shameless pervert. Do you have any idea what you're doing? As soon as Lu Bingbing sat down, her gaze fell on a weird object that she'd never noticed before. Lu Bingbing's neck reddened in an instant. However, her eyes were filled with chilly, murderous intent. You bastard! How dare a little brat like you have such a barbarous thought when your mother painstakingly helped you to remove the bullet? Your mother will fucking snap that thing into. Lu Bingbing was mad as hell. This Qin Feng was too arrogant, vulgar, and shameless. She furiously grabbed a scalpel and rushed to Qin Feng's side, wanting to stab him. Qin Feng's face was distorted with fear. As he opened his mouth to stop Lu Bingbing, the ambulance door suddenly opened. I remember the door wasn't locked. Who locked it? Fast, 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 get the casualty loaded. He's lost too much blood. He'll be in great danger if we're too late. The door was opened from outside and the sounds of rain and wind drifted over. At the door stood 2 doctors in white coats and 2 nurses, and another 2 policemen who were helping the doctors in carrying the strayer. The group of people was carrying a casualty and getting on the ambulance. When they saw the sight in the ambulance, all of them held their breath, stunned in place. Doctors and nurses were flabbergasted. They couldn't fathom why there was a man and a woman in an ambulance. And most importantly, they were doing something embarrassing. Those 2 policemen were Lu Bingbing's subordinates. The shocking sight robbed them of speech. When they saw their director Lu bent over a man with her head apparently buried in the man's crow, they then thought in their hearts, "This is our director Lu, the coolest and proudest in our bureau. It turns out she's this kind of woman. What are you guys looking at? Don't you guys have anything else to do? Hurry up and rescue the other casualties. And if anyone dares to mention anything they saw today to other people, be prepared to leave our bureau." Bang! The door was shut by Lu Bingbing's kick. After she took care of her subordinates, she then turned her head and stared at Qin Feng with a pair of reddened eyes. She released a dense killing aura throughout her body. Qin Feng was so scared that his little heart was about to explode. He knew howling winds and torrential rains were coming, but he really hadn't done anything. Bang bang bang. Ow ow ow. The doctors, nurses, and policemen were still dazed outside the door. They could only hear the sound of vigorous movements and Qin Feng's cries constantly drifting over from inside the ambulance. The cries were screaming in Qin Feng's and Lu Bingbing's ears, but they became something else to the people outside the ambulance. All of them looked at one another with surprise and amazed expressions on their faces. The two little nurses were flushed with shyness. They couldn't imagine what types of positions the two people inside were using for combating. Chapter 292. Chapter 292. I killed him. Bang! After a full 10 minutes of fighting, the ambulance doors opened again, and Lu Bingbing exited the vehicle with a cold expression. When Qin Feng got out of the vehicle, a procession of bodyguards in black and 3 beauties rushed over. "Qin Feng, are you alright? I knew you'd be alright. I was scared to death." "Ah, Qin Feng, what happened to your leg? Is it okay? Why don't we go to the hospital?" "Qin Feng, wear this. Don't see a cold." The 3 beauties that suddenly rushed over were Su Ruoro, Li Yuchan, and Rao Sherman. These 3 women were all outstandingly attractive, and each had different auras and personalities. Once each of the women saw Qin Feng, they surrounded him excitedly. Su Ruoro and Li Yuchan anxiously took one of Qin Feng's arms each, while Rao Sherman hugged Qin Feng. When the doctors, nurses, and police saw this scene, they were so shocked that their eyes almost popped out of their skulls. In particular, the 2 subordinates that came with Lu Bingbing's side and wondered what kind of person Qin Feng was to have such luck with the ladies. Director Lu was exceptionally unlike herself today. She actually hid in a vehicle with Qin Feng and did it with him, and after it was over, she reinstated her usual cold and proud expression. And now that she saw 3 women surrounding Qin Feng, she actually wasn't mad. Based on her explosive temper, it would make more sense for her to blast the 3 women's heads off. Qin Feng just texted Su Ruoro while he was in the ambulance, so the 3 women rushed over with Qin Manor bodyguards. Qin Feng quickly changed into a new suit. There was no way he'd stand in front of everyone in his underwear. "Alright, let's go back to the lounge. Is Chairman Qin alright?" Qin Feng held Su Ruoro and Li Yuchan as they walked toward the lounge. Rao Sherman also quickly followed. "Qin Feng, Chairman Qin is in the lounge right now. Everyone is fine. A few audience members were trampled and got hurt during the evacuation, but they've all been taken to the hospital for treatment. The sudden shooting incident has been settled by the police, and there are no deaths so far." Su Ruoro explained the situation to Qin Feng. The 4 of them walked under the protection of 4 bodyguards in black, and they quickly arrived at the lounge. "Qin Feng, are you alright? You've scared your da." Qin Huang immediately rushed up to Qin Feng and grabbed him when he saw that his son was alright. Qin Feng cut his father off, yelling, "Chairman Qin, I've worried you. I'm alright. I just so happened to be close to Rao Sherman, so I had the opportunity to rush on stage and save her. Rao Sherman is such a beautiful, kind, and famous celebrity that anyone in my position would have done the same thing and did all they could to save her. Chairman Qin, there's no need to praise me in particular. And don't give me a reward. That would dishonor my actions." How could Qin Huang not know what his son was thinking? Qin Feng was afraid of revealing his identity to the 3 beauties. Qin Huang had been too worried about Qin Feng's safety, so he almost slipped up. At this time, he regained his usual imposing expression and looked indifferently at Qin Feng. "Since you were injured on the job, I was originally going to give you a week off to recover. I've also arranged for Miss Ruoro to have the week off with you as well so she can take care of you. Seeing that you don't need these rewards, It seems that I've dishonored you. Haha, Chairman Qin is a man of his word. Since this is the case, then I, Qin Feng, will follow your arrangements, said Qin Feng with a chuckle. It's too late. Qin Huang glared at Qin Feng again. Qin Feng had changed into a new suit, and Qin Huang couldn't see the gunshot wound on his leg. The pent-up anger in her chest caused it to rise up high, and Qin Feng wanted to look, but he didn't dare do so. Director Liu, don't be angry. If women get angry a lot, they get older faster. That's right, I heard that Lancôme recently put out a new whitening product that's really good. I happen to have a friend in France. I'll have him send some quality products over. If a natural beauty like Director Liu uses it. Liu Bingbing ignored Qin Feng's words and suddenly blurted out, Qin Feng, one of the assassins was found in the garden behind Villa 5. He was split in half by someone. Do you know who did it? Qin Feng immediately closed his mouth. His expression changed slightly, and he swayed to a comfortable posture as he leaned into the seat. He said casually, I killed him. I used this blade and sliced him in two. A long sword that glowed orange suddenly appeared in Qin Feng's hand, scaring Liu Bingbing. What made her even more shocked was the fact that Qin Feng willingly confessed to murder. You're a martial artist? Liu Bingbing furrowed her shapely eyebrows as she looked at the treasured sword in Qin Feng's hand. You know about martial artists? Qin Feng asked back and furrowed his eyebrows as well. Liu Bingbing's expression shifted several times before it reverted back to her usually cold one. That's not important. You killed someone and you even confessed in front of me. I won't let you off. Liu Bingbing's expression was staunch. Disappointment flashed through her eyes as she said, Qin Feng, right now you have to either kill me to hide that you murdered someone, or let me arrest you for murder. Either way, I can't beat you in a fight. If you're going to do it, hurry up. Liu Bingbing found a comfortable position, slouched into her seat, shut her eyes and waited for Qin Feng to act. She didn't understand why Qin Feng confessed so easily to killing someone this time. In the past he killed Hao Yun and Yuan Xiang, but he refused to admit it. Did he want to kill her as well? So she was nothing in his heart. This was Liu Bingbing's first time feeling so conflicted and helpless. She was righteous and upstanding. In her world, what was right and what was wrong. The world only had two kinds of people, good and bad. She would never let a bad person off even if they were her friend or relative. Since she knew Qin Feng killed someone, she knew she wouldn't let Qin Feng off. However, she didn't want to arrest Qin Feng. She even wished that he would end her with a slice and resolve all her worries. This change in mentality was very subtle. Even Liu Bingbing wasn't able to react. Director Liu, I won't kill you. You're so beautiful and righteous, how could I? Qin Feng laughed. Liu Bingbing had shut her eyes and sat in the seat. Qin Feng admired her lovely body. Her profile was gorgeous and filled with moral integrity. Her nose was tall and alluring, her chest was very perky, and she had a bewitching and perky behind. She was such a sexy and proud beauty. Though Qin Feng knew Liu Bingbing and had a quest regarding her, even if it was his first time seeing her, he couldn't kill such a beauty. Then cut the crap and come with me to the police station and wait to die. Liu Bingbing sighed internally. This was Qin Feng's decision. She already gave him an opportunity to escape. She opened her alluring eyes and found that the treasured sword in Qin Feng's hand was gone. Liu Bingbing gritted her teeth and started the car. She sped toward the North District Subbureau. Chapter 293. Chapter 293. If there is a first time, there is a second time. Qin Feng closed his eyes and rested in the passenger seat along the way. Liu Bingbing, on the other hand, focused on driving. Neither of them spoke. The atmosphere was below zero, as if the air inside the car would freeze at any moment. Screech! The car arrived at the North District Subbureau. However, Liu Bingbing pulled the emergency brake and stopped the car in front of the bureau's gate. Qin Feng, who are those assassins? Asked Liu Bingbing as she looked at Qin Feng. Her face was frosty as a flame of fury was rising in her heart. She admitted she couldn't send Qin Feng to the jail, because she knew Qin Feng would never come out again. Qin Feng had confessed he was the killer. Even with the powerful Qin family backing him, he wouldn't be able to turn the situation around. There were 2 assassins who tried to kill me. One was the black person you guys found. The other was a Chinese brawler monk that ran away. Qin Feng opened his eyes and sighed slightly. As for who they are, I can't tell you. Qin Feng, can you please not fuck around now? Your mother's patience is limited, and I will not break my bottom line for the 3rd time. Lu Bingbing was enraged. She was very mad at Qin Feng's attitude. She hadn't even been this angry the first time she met this rascal. She couldn't fathom why she was so mad. Qin Feng followed her obediently. He didn't speak along the way or act like a vulgar person or talk glibly. He admitted his guilt proactively and accompanied her to the bureau. Before, Lu Bingbing had dreamed she could beat Qin Feng into becoming like this. But when Qin Feng really became like this, Lu Bingbing wished he would act shamelessly in front of her again and tell her everything was just a joke. Director Lu, I've come with you back to the bureau. Can you stop scolding me? You aren't young anymore, you know? You're too hot-tempered and always shout at people once you open your mouth. Who'd still dare to be your boyfriend? Qin Feng looked at Lu Bingbing, smiling. Your mother wants to scold people and I like to scold people very much. You better tell me the truth. I'm asking you for one last time, did you kill the man? Lu Bingbing stomped her feet in fury. Stop asking anymore. I'm the one who killed the man. I won't tell you their identity. This is because they are too powerful, so powerful that I could only run away from them with my current power. Qin Feng suddenly became serious and gazed gently at Lu Bingbing. I don't want to involve you in this. This is my own problem. If you meddle in it, I'm afraid I might bring you down. Lu Bingbing was stunned. Her pair of clear eyes gazed fixedly at Qin Feng. The reason she was so angry and gave Qin Feng chances to justify himself again and again was because in her heart she didn't wish Qin Feng to be arrested. She didn't want him to confess that he was the killer. Lu Bingbing had deliberately stopped the car at the gate of the North District Subbureau because she was waiting for Qin Feng. She was waiting for a pretext that could convince her to release him. Now the pretext had come. It was a very simple sentence. Because I don't want to get you into the trouble. Qin Feng, just tell me. Who are they? I promise I won't let a third party know their true identity, on my honor, asked Lu Bingbing in a soft tone, shedding her glacial aura. Director Lu, it's not that I don't trust you. It's just that you might be in great danger if I tell you who they are. This is the reason why I refused to tell you their identity. Director Lu, please send me to the jail. I know you're an upright and uncorrupted person. You've never shielded or connived with a criminal before. And you're actually struggling in your heart now. After all, we've known each other for just a mere 2 months. It's so much trouble messing with a group like this. Qin Feng lamented. By the way, why were they targeting you? Lu Bingbing was worried as well. According to the underworld, a man targeted by the Golden Assassin crew was as good as dead. The elder of the Hao family used all his family properties and hired an assassin from the Golden Assassin crew to kill me. I killed the first 2 assassins, this was the second time. Since Qin Feng had said this much to Lu Bingbing, he thought that it wouldn't be a problem to tell her the whole story. After listening to what Qin Feng said, Lu Bingbing gasped. To this was the second time you were ambushed by people from the Golden Assassin crew? You even killed 3 of them? Why not? They were trying to kill me. They didn't have enough strength, so they got what they deserved, Qin Feng replied casually. Lu Bingbing still hadn't recovered from the shock. She'd heard of the Golden Assassin crew's legend of indomitability long ago. They'd never had a case where they failed twice on a mission, but Qin Feng broke their perfect record. He even killed 3 of their assassins. This time Qin Feng had totally made an enemy of the Golden Assassin crew. Qin Feng, you better be careful next time. I'm certain the Golden Assassin crew will go wild and try to get revenge on you. Not even I can help you counter the attack from this mysterious, obscure organization. I don't even know where to see them. You killed a person this time, but since he's an international fugitive, I'll help you resolve the situation. You're injured. You'd better go home and rest. Lu Bingbing had made herself clear. She would let Qin Feng off this time. She not only released him, she even took the initiative to help him settle the aftermath. Well, thank you, Director Lu. Qin Feng had a stern face, but actually he was as happy as a lark inside his heart. His acting successfully hoodwinked Lu Bingbing into helping him square things with the police. Hold on. Lu Bingbing stopped Qin Feng as he was getting off the car. The 4 human traffickers that we caught at the slum still haven't given up their backer. However, according to my experience, I'm certain that they're indeed part of the criminal gang. You've performed exceptionally well in this case. For now, I'll hold them for a couple of days first to sniff out the force behind them and their base's location, and then we'll sneak into their base together and capture them all in one go. I'll give you the credit afterward. Forget about the credit. It's my pleasure to help Director Lu in demolishing this human trafficking group, replied Qin Feng as he smiled at her. Okay. I'll contact you afterward. Anyway, you better behave yourself, you little brat. If you dare to kill or burn again, I'll never go easy on you. Lu Bingbing closed the door furiously and drove her car into the bureau. Qin Feng stood in his original place and looked after Lu Bingbing. The corner of his mouth quirked slightly as he murmured, "If there is a first time, then there is a second time and a third time." Qin Feng flagged down a taxi and returned to Qin Manor. When he reached the gate of Qin Manor, Uncle Fu was already there waiting for him. Young Master Qin. Uncle Fu walked toward Qin Feng and inspected him thoroughly. With a bright light in his eyes, he said, "Congratulations, young Master Qin, on your breakthrough." With a smile on his face, Qin Feng patted Uncle Fu's shoulder. Both of them then got in the car. "Uncle Fu, are my dad and Ruro all right?" Qin Feng sat in the back seat and gazed at the villas and green fields of Qin Manor. "The 3 Mrs. and Chairman Qin are all right. They're waiting for your return at home," said Uncle Fu as he focused on driving. Normally, he followed Qin Feng's and Qin Huang's orders without question. However, this time, he suddenly opened his mouth when the car was about to arrive at the main building. "Young Master Qin, this time is the Golden Assassin crew as well?" Uncle Fu asked with a hint of coldness in his tone. "Looks like my dad has told you. Last time, after Chairman Qin came back from his abduction, he told me to take good care of your safety in the future." Uncle Fu sighed lightly. "Today I was tasked with Chairman Qin's safety and neglected young Master Qin. This is a dereliction of my duty." "Uncle Fu, it's not your fault. I'm okay as long as my dad is fine." Qin Feng pondered for a while and asked, "Is the Golden Assassin crew that powerful?" Qin Feng didn't believe Han Ying's feelings for him were true, but it wasn't Qin Feng's style to not take advantage of something when it was presented to him on a silver platter. This girl was learning management with his father, and she also wanted to form a business partnership with the Qin family. As long as you and Uncle Qin are all right. People are the most important. If money is lost, it can be earned back, but if a person is gone, what would I do?" Han Ying hugged Qin Feng's arm even more tightly. Chapter 295. Chapter 295 Alliance of Prince 1 and Sima Tuesday. Han Ying was frightened. She was now shrouded with nervousness and fear. She'd thought her mind would be more resolute after returning from her hometown. She'd thought she could seduce Qin Feng with her beauty and wrap him around her finger. However, Han Ying had retreated before she took off her clothes. She wasn't ready yet. She refused to give her body to a man she didn't like. Both of them ended the conversation and leaned shoulder to shoulder on the couch, sunk in deep thought. After Han Ying regained her energy and her mind cleared, she suddenly looked at Qin Feng. "Qin Feng, what happened in this event? Were they targeting the Qin family, or that superstar? Who knows? The police failed to arrest the assassin anyway. Maybe they're targeting Rao Sherman." This was because the stage suddenly collapsed and she was almost crushed under it, Qin Feng said indifferently. A chill flashed across Han Ying's eyes. She asked about this incident to sound out Qin Feng. However, she could tell from Qin Feng's answer. He didn't believe her at all. "Now, with the intervention of the police, I believe the assassin will be caught in no time. The main thing is everybody is safe." Once again, Han Ying placed her head on Qin Feng's shoulder and proactively held his arm and comforted him. "Oh yeah, Qin Feng, since you started to work at Royal Group, Uncle Qin has transferred most of his shares to you. You must work harder to improve yourself and not let Uncle Qin down." You're his only son and he cares a lot about you. Qin Feng's countenance changed slightly after Han Ying abruptly brought up this topic. Wasn't my performance good enough? I was the top seller last month and I was promoted from an ordinary employee to a sales group leader within 1 month, said Qin Feng, pasting a triumphant grin on his face. Yes, your performance is indeed outstanding. I was shocked during the performance conference last time. Han Ying followed up with a smile. As she smiled, she continued to talk. Not sure how many shares Uncle Qin transferred to you. Haha, you're so lucky. You're now an invisible tycoon with more than 100 million in assets. You're handsome, promising, and rich, just like a legendary man who reigned over the trifecta of tall, rich, and handsome. Even I'm tempted to marry you. Who knows? After all, it's my dad who's in charge of this kind of thing. I never cared, Qin Feng replied, shrugging his shoulders indifferently. Han Ying's expression sank slightly before returning to normal. She wanted to ask more questions, but Qin Huang had come downstairs. Fenger, Ying, what are you guys talking about? Uncle Qin, we didn't speak much. We're just resting on the couch. You probably have something important to discuss with Qin Feng, so I'll excuse myself first. Saying so, Han Ying stood up and prepared to leave. It's okay, Ying. I'll ask Qin Feng come to my study. You can rest here. Qin Huang cast a warm smile at Han Ying. After that, he looked at Qin Feng and said, Fenger, follow me to my study now. In a luxurious villa somewhere. A young man wearing a white robe rested on a couch. In front of him stood a black-cloaked elder. The white-robed youngster had an impressive and ethereal appearance. He was playing with a wooden fan. Uncle Ghost, what did you learn? White Robe asked softly. Second young master, it was the people from the Golden Assassin crew. Since the white-robed guy didn't like the name Prince One, Uncle Ghost then addressed him as second young master. Is Qin Feng dead? Second young master's voice was flat. He seemingly had the answer already. Not yet. What a lucky guy. Even the Golden Assassin crew has failed twice by his hands, sneered second young master with a disdainful look. Oh. Second young master, that little brat broke through again. Second young master's eyes glittered. After that, his expression became cold and he asked, what's his level of strength now? How would he fare if compared to my big brother? I can't judge his strength now since I've never fought him. However, in my opinion, Qin Feng must be weaker than first young master. Haha, what can he achieve if he can't defeat my big brother? He's gonna die sooner or later. Second young master guffawed uproariously. He just managed a half laugh when his cell phone suddenly rang. Ding dong. It was a text notification. Second young master picked up his cell phone to read the message. The number of shares Qin Huang transferred to Qin Feng still hasn't been confirmed. It's not clear whether the shares are really with Qin Feng at this time. Second young master gave a Bronx cheer and texted back. The shares aren't with Qin Feng anymore. That sly old fox Qin Huang became suspicious long ago, and has already shifted the shares elsewhere. Continue to trace the whereabouts of the shares. We must find them. Second young master, someone is looking for you. A servant walked in from outside as soon as the white-robed guy replied to the message. Who is it? He said he is from the Sima family of Acropolis City. He'd like to have a cup of tea with second young master. Let him in then. After 30 seconds, a heavenly-looking young man in a suit came inside and greeted second young master with a smile. Prince One, it's been a while. How's everything going? Prince Sima, I'm really surprised you would come to my humble home. No, Buddhism emphasizes the concept fate. Our paths will eventually cross if it's fated. With a faint smile on his face, he then sat opposite Prince One. Prince Sima, please enlighten me. Where does the fate come from? Asked Prince One with a mirth. Long has the great name of the wise and wily Prince One resounded in my ear. You're a rare and brilliant genius in our generation. I expect Prince One would be clearer than me where the fate comes from, right? Haha, it's them who give me face. Prince One didn't pursue the origin of this fate. Instead, he waited for Sima Tu to speak. Sima Tu had come prepared. Without any hesitation, he got straight to the point. Prince 1, I came here for Qin Feng, and I came here to get rid of him. Haha, interesting. Prince 1 burst out in a fit of violent laughter. Tell me frankly what you have in mind, Prince Sima. I presume Prince 1 has heard news of the emergency at Royal Group's opening ceremony. Yes, I have. It was a tragedy. Rumors say there was a shooter, and the stage collapsed as well. Even the superstar Wuxia man who came from the provincial capital was almost injured. It was such a shame for this kind of thing to happen. Sima too said while beaming. It's indeed quite a shame. Why didn't the metal frame crush Wuxia man, and why didn't the shooter kill Qin Feng on spot? Queried Prince 1 with his eyebrows pricked. This time it was Sima too who burst into boisterous laughter. Haha, seems like I've found my partner. I've got a plan. Does Prince 1 want to analyze the pros and cons with me? Of course I do. The opening ceremony of Royal Group has caused a big commotion in society. They invited Wuxia man, a first-tier celebrity, as a VIP to their opening ceremony, and even publicized their event schedule on major social media networks. In the end, this kind of tragedy happened and now people were scared. Do you think the people still dare to purchase a villa from Phase 2 of Cloud City Hua Manor? If we make use of this opportunity and cause the same accident at other estates of Royal Group, the people of Acropolis City will eventually lose their faith in Royal Group. The once great real estate giant crashes and falls overnight. It happens all the time. This kind of news is indeed very common. However, it's still a bit lackluster if we want to crush a real estate giant like Royal Group, said Prince 1 while nodding his head. This is the reason I came to Prince 1. Since it lacks some firepower, then we shall give it a push. You know what a tiring life Qin Huang has lived as the wealthiest man in Acropolis City. He might thank us in the future for showing him a new and easier way of life after we've dragged him down from the top. Maybe she'll unleash the full power of the Dongfang family to crush the Qin family in her fury. Lastly, the assassins are from the Golden Assassin crew. Since Qin Feng and Qin Huang have offended this organization, they might need to worry about survival for the rest of their lives. Now the time is right. Even the geographical and social conditions are in our favor. Isn't this the perfect time for Prince 1 to make your move? Haha. Good, very well planned. I hope we have a good time working together, Prince Sima. All of a sudden, Prince 1 excitedly smacked the table and declared his alliance with Sima Tuesday. How could he not have considered the 3 points Sima 2 mentioned? The reason he lurked in the dark and didn't take the initiative was because Hua Ming almost revealed his identity during that time at the mountain resort. Hua Ming's action had roused suspicion with the people of Qin Manor. So Prince 1 couldn't take Qin Feng on unbridledly. He had to maintain a low profile and borrow outside power to exterminate Qin Feng. So he previously asked Uncle Ghost to persuade the Hao family's elder to hire an assassin from the Golden Assassin crew to assassinate Qin Feng, and cause Qin Feng to run afoul of this menacing organization. Now Sima 2 had taken the initiative to form an alliance with him. Prince 1 was entirely willing to borrow the power of Sima 2, backing him at the same time, in order to get rid of Qin Feng, or even crush the Qin family in Acropolis City. Qin Manor main building, 3rd floor study room. Qin Feng and Qin Huang sat face to face. Qin Huang was making tea with his tea set, and very soon a pot of high-grade Longjing tea was prepared. Qin Feng sat quietly on the wooden floor, weighing his dad's tea-making performance. The room was filled with the fragrance of books and tea. Fenger, were you injured? After Qin Huang served a cup of tea to Qin Feng, his expression became grave suddenly. He was the wealthiest man in Acropolis City, shrewd and deep, and had an eagle-like gaze. So when this tragedy happened, when he heard the 2 gunshots, he'd already known. The people from the Golden Assassin crew had come. Once the Golden Assassin crew made their move, there would be casualties. Granted that Qin Huang hadn't seen the gunshot wound on Qin Feng's thigh, he also knew it couldn't have been easy for his son to escape their ambush. I was shot in the thigh. The bullet's been extracted, and I'm fine now. Qin Feng took a sip from the tea. His eyes shone brightly, and he exclaimed, "Dad, it's such a nice tea." On the other hand, Qin Huang had a worried face. He wanted to check Qin Feng's wound. However, Qin Feng waved his hand and refused. "Dad, I was shot in the thigh very close to my precious one. If you want to see, I'll still need to take my pants off, and I'm afraid you may see something else." I think you might as well forget about it. When Qin Feng arrived at the parlor, Han Ying was already gone. He returned to his room on the third floor, lay in bed, and opened the Hedonist sovereign system. Master, I'm so glad I can see you're still alive. Once the Hedonist sovereign system was opened, Little Pig bounced out. Qin Feng looked at Little Pig, who looked like a little mouse scurrying all over the room. He suddenly had the urge to stomp him to death. During the afternoon's events, Qin Feng broke through both internal and external stages, and was awarded 3,000 Hedonist points. Additionally, when Yun Xiao left, he was awarded 1,000 Hedonist points by curing her social anxiety. Now Qin Feng had a total of 4,000 Hedonist points. When Qin Feng saw all the Hedonist points, he was so moved he wanted to shout thrice. Master, you just need to spend 1,500 Hedonist points and your total spendings would be 10,000 Hedonist points. Then you can become a rank 5 Hedonist mortal and receive 3 free lottery chances. At the same time, you'll activate the system's Wuxia interface and step onto the road of becoming a sovereign immortal. Little Pig left for a bit, then came back with Pikachu. Pikachu had been with Sururo this whole time. When he saw Qin Feng, he emotionally hopped into Qin Feng's embrace. Qin Feng also missed Pikachu a lot. Once he hugged Pikachu, his expression fell. You pervert, tell me, do you shamelessly bury yourself in Sururo's embrace every night to sleep? Qin Feng smelled Sururo's scent on Pikachu and felt horrible. He was treated worse than a little animal. Pikachu could feel the coldness emanating from Qin Feng, and he dexterously escaped Qin Feng's embrace to arrive by Little Pig on the floor. Qin Feng shook his head, sighed, and proceeded to ignore the two beasts. He opened the system's fusion function. A couple of days ago, when fighting with Sima Tu, his left winter iron glove was ruined. That glove was now rendered useless, and Qin Feng was prepared to fix it in the fusion interface. When placed in the fusion function, the system provided a notice. The right glove could be the item to get upgraded, and the left glove would be enhancive material for it. This way, the upgraded item could be a new orange grade right glove, while the left glove would be integrated into it. This fusion costs 1,000 Hedonist points. Qin Feng hesitated for a brief moment, then thought, fuse. Since he was right-handed anyway, having just the right glove would usually be adequate. It was naturally worth it to upgrade the winter iron glove from white to orange grade. Thus, all of Qin Feng's equipment would be orange grade spiritual equipment. With the command, the fusion interface's large oven spun quickly, then stopped just as quickly. A gleaming orange winter iron glove emerged. Fusion success. Upgraded winter iron glove, right glove. Equipment grade, orange mid-grade equipment. Made with 1,000-year-old winter iron, it was incomparably hard. Winter iron's natural properties made the wearer feel cold with clear determination, raising the wearer's stamina and accuracy during battle. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for successfully creating an orange grade equipment. The Hedonist Sovereign System rewards you 1,000 Hedonist points. Ding! The Hedonist Sovereign System has issued a quest. Acquire 6 pieces of orange-grade spiritual equipment. Quest time limit, 3 months. 4 have currently been collected. Successful completion reward, 5,000 Hedonist points and 1 blue-grade equipment. Upon failure, the host will lose all his orange-grade spiritual equipment. This quest arrived too suddenly. Qin Feng was so excited he almost jumped up. He had 4 pieces of orange-grade spiritual equipment: the true steel sword, the flying dragon armor, the spirit snake whip, and the winter iron glove. As long as he got 2 more orange-grade equipment, he could complete the quest and receive 5,000 Hedonist points. This was not a small number. With a slight thought from Qin Feng, a winter iron glove with orange light appeared on Qin Feng's right fist. After upgrading the winter iron glove, the winteriness of the glove was even more prevalent. It also strengthened Qin Feng's awareness and reaction speed, and made his reactions quicker. Whoosh! Qin Feng leapt and pumped his right fist into the air. Oh! With the intermediate Thunder Tiger fists, the winter iron glove made every punch formidable with irresistible force. Nice, it really is more agile and sensitive than the white grade gloves. Qin Feng practiced his punching technique while praising the glove. There was only one grade difference between white and orange, but the improvement was vast. The upgrade of a single glove enhanced Qin Feng's abilities a lot. It was evident how important equipment grade was to a martial artist. Qin Feng's intermediate Thunder Tiger Fists, a yellow top grade skill, was fairly powerful. One punch from him could conquer mountains and rivers, and the force was unstoppable. His basic sword skill, a yellow middle grade skill, was kind of lackluster. However, he could still slice through metal easily and force people to kneel using sword auras. His Phantom Whip technique was an overwhelmingly powerful yellow top grade skill.